in, but that was the theory behind them. It was thanks to this guy that shin protection made its way over to football. Meet Samuel Widdowson. He was a cricketer and a footballer. He played for Nottingham Forest back in the late 1800s, and he wanted a way to protect his legs from nasty tackles. Apparently, he'd broken his leg in a match against Sheffield United in 1874 and wanted to stop it from happening again. Naturally, his mind drifted to his other favourite sport, where players had been wearing these pads. Story goes, Widdowson cut up his cricket pads, sewed them into his socks and popped them on before taking to the footy pitch. Ta-da! Shin pads. Like all great genius inventors, everyone took the mickey at first. To be fair, he probably looked quite stupid running around with these on. But it's thought his whole Nottingham Forest team then began wearing them from 1887, and the first known use of them in a match was in 1894, in a match between Newcastle and the then Woolwich Arsenal. Eventually, FIFA clocked on that this protection was pretty important for footballers. Multiple studies have shown wearing shin pads clearly reduces the risk of players getting lower leg injuries. And so in 1990, basically 100 years after Widdowson first put them on, shin pads were made compulsory. It became a part of Law 4 of IFAB. That's the body responsible for setting the laws of the game internationally. But the law doesn't actually specify anything about measurements of shin pads. It just says pads must be made of a suitable material and be of an appropriate size to provide reasonable protection. It's really vague, and players can get away with a lot. A lot of grassroots clubs are choosing to ban micro shin pads for obvious reasons though, especially after a 15-year-old player from Penistone Church broke his leg while wearing them. Still no change from IFAB though. That's why Grealish and co can still get away with these ones, which are no bigger than a credit card and which seem to offer little to no protection whatsoever.
Good morning, how are you? Welcome along to the weekend sports breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne, alongside former Republic of Ireland striker Tony Cascarino.
Good morning.
Last year's Premier League champions Liverpool can all but secure a top 5 finish with victory over Chelsea this afternoon. Ahead of this one, Reds boss Arne Slot simply says qualifying for the Champions League won't make this season a success.
I think the season has been gone in a way that even if we have 3 wins and 3 very positive results, I don't think everyone will still be positive about how we ended the season, how the season has been. It's important that we get that at least 1 win over the line, which we think is enough to qualify.
So that game live and exclusive for you here on talkSPORT. Kick-off at 12:30 this afternoon. And the Championship playoffs are up and running. Middlesbrough host Southampton in the semi-final first leg at the Riverside Stadium. But the real story has been the Spygate incident after Southampton were charged by the EFL for allegedly spying on the playoff opponents. On the Sports Bar Weekender, Toby the Saints fan says he's disgusted by the club's behaviour.
I'm disgraced by the club, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I'm going up there tomorrow. I'm leaving at 6 in the morning. It is an absolute disgrace.
The game is live and exclusive. talkSPORT 2 today with a kick-off at 12:30. And Man City host Brentford this afternoon, looking to close their 5-point gap to league leaders Arsenal. Ahead of the must-win game, City boss Pep Guardiola says they can't afford any further slip-ups in the Premier League title race.
I love to be at home, what can I say? So hopefully they can come and, put pressure on our Arsenal winning our games. We try to win, let's leave 2 points behind them and see what happens.
There's so much going on, lots to get stuck into, lots to look back on. Come and join us on the weekend sports breakfast here on talkSPORT. Good morning. My God, I miss you in the week. You have no idea.
That was Shebahn McCoy. How is she? As in, you're working every day. Feels like you're doing 2 jobs a day at the moment.
Sleep when we're dead, I think he'll be there.
Well, you did. You after last Sunday's show, you then headed off to Scotland, Glasgow, and you was at Celtic, wasn't you?
Yeah, lots of people asking for the legend.
Yeah, but forget about
Cascarino.
Yeah, forget about me for a minute, but just go through your week of how much you've worked this week.
No, the hard work started on Tuesday when I was made to do some housework.
Oh, right. Well, because your other officer, Jamie, was away, wasn't he? Was he away? Did he go away for a few days?
He's away next week, isn't he?
You don't even know when he's home.
He's away next week, I'm sure of that.
Right, okay.
Remember the golf? You've gone through his golf. Oh, I need to get you to go through the golf stuff.
Yeah.
For him. No, that's next week. But yeah, busy week, great week. We started up on Wednesday, then up at Michael Owen's in Cheshire.
Yeah, I heard that, yeah.
I'd like to be a horse there. That would be a nice place.
Yeah, well, he's invested a hell of a lot of money, hasn't he, in horse racing?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Mick Shannon was the pioneer of that, really, in football, because Mick Shannon, you know, from a footballer, took it to, you know, horse racing was his real love, and he took it incredibly seriously. And it looks like Michael Owen's going down a similar road.
I've had 2 Dean Saunders experiences this week.
Well, that's always fun.
Which, I mean, he just brings me so much joy and happiness. He makes me laugh a lot. He makes you laugh a lot.
Yeah, he does. When I listen to Dino, he always makes me chuckle because he'll find a story from somewhere. I can just never believe. And one thing I would love to one day have a chat with him about being a manager. I just can't imagine Dino as being a manager unless he was not the Dino we know on radio that will tell stories and you know he just talks to. I just don't imagine him in the environment of a dressing room and having a go at someone.
Unless he's changed so much over the years.
Well, football management can change her.
Yeah,
you know, they can.
He's been great crack. We're together with him next Friday as well, aren't we? So that'll be fun. But all round, a really good week. Going back to your Millwall then.
Yeah, last night.
Last night, I mean, disappointing, Cass.
Well, the game wasn't particularly good. Yeah. I mean, the result was decent because Millwall now in a situation where if they win their home game, they'll be in the final, the playoff. Yeah. Was it entertaining? Not particularly. It was a bit of a struggle. Not many chances created. Lack of quality. I think both managers will be a little bit disappointed in their teams. I thought harshly disallowed goal by Millwall. Lennart's goal. I'm not sure. You know, what the linesman was seeing or the referee saw that, you know, 2 players collided and it ended up in the back of the net, but he disallowed it. And there wasn't a lot to choose. Like I said, both managers have been disappointed really how their teams have performed. Alex Neil will go back thinking on the bus with everybody else, well, got to win the home game. And I think he'll change his team around as well. I think he'll play Bannon from the start. And I'll suspect he might go 2 up front against Hull. Because he's done that a few times. Well, Ivanovic will come alongside Coburn up front. I think he might do that in the home leg. Obviously, go for the jugglers slightly. They had a couple of chances at Hull. McBurney, probably one across the face of the goal and then a header that he probably should have done better with. But it's finely poised. But the advantage certainly is, in my opinion, in favour of Millwall.
Yeah, that's next week, of course. Don't forget, all 15 of the playoff games are going to be live and exclusive here on the talkSPORT network. Playoff season, it's just absolutely crazy, isn't it? And then all the finals coming up as well. 3 English teams in the finals and then a World Cup.
Yeah.
Literally the week after all that finishes, the Champions League on the 30th of May, World Cup.
The European football was great this week.
Yeah, it really was.
You know, watching Villa take on Forest, and look, for Forest fans, it would have been a really hard watch. I can't believe, for love nor money, how Villa against Spurs was so off it. And okay, they make changes in teams, but they were so off it against Spurs. And then to be, 4 or 5 days, 4 days later?
Yeah.
They were literally, they smothered Nottingham Forest. And Forest were terrific at Stamford Bridge. And, you know, it just shows you how in a short period of time that you can turn a result round. And I would never have thought before the game that Forest will get beaten 4-0. And McGinn was terrific. Ollie Watkins was as well. John McGinn's just a great pro. I mean, I don't know him. I've not heard too much about John McGinn, but what I see is, I would imagine he's just one of them lads in the dressing room that is absolutely feet on the ground all the time.
Yeah, he is that character.
Yeah, that's all I see in him, is that never stops chasing, running. And see it with Scotland, that he always gives his absolute all, and people go, well, that's normal. Well, there's some people go above and beyond, and John McGinn is one of them.
Do you know he's a twin? Fun fact.
Yeah, I did know that. Yeah. And is his other half any good? His other twin, is he?
She's a girl, yeah. She's a woman.
Does she play or?
I don't think so, no.
No?
Don't think
You never know, do you? But he's just got something. He's infectious. The way he inspires players alongside him. I just think he lifts them, and I can see because they nearly lost him to Newcastle in the summer.
Yeah.
And I could see why Eddie Howe would have wanted him, but he stayed at Villa Park, and he'll go down. I'm sure John will go down one of the greats of Villa Park.
Absolutely. I hope his brother Paul today smashes Hearts to bits. I really do.
Hey, that was great last
Motherwell could beat Hearts today. I'm going to go up and go
That's a tough one.
kiss all the McGinn family.
Yeah, well, Motherwell have had a really good season as well. So,
yeah, brilliant season.
But they were, they turned the game around. Last weekend they turned it around, and that was terrific by Hearts.
Yeah, I mean it's tight this weekend up the road, of course, and lots coming up for you on the talkSPORT network today at 12:30. Critical in the Premier League as Liverpool host Chelsea. Anfield live on talkSPORT at 12:30.
That is a full-time whistle, and it's finished. Manchester United 3, Liverpool 2.
One moment we switch up and we concede. That has happened so many times this season.
He's struggling with the Liverpool fans. A lot of them have made their mind up that he's not the right fit.
Pokes it back to Viat. Oh, it's a lovely finish. Brilliant from Florian Viat.
You didn't win the Premier League for 30 years. How comes this guy gets one season of winning the Premier League, the next year he has a bad season like Klopp did after he won the Premier League, and all of a sudden he's got to go?
For Chelsea, the end of the season is becoming a nightmare.
Is what's broken here this season fixable easily, or will it take a while to get right?
My job is to prepare the team for Liverpool. Short lens for us. How can we review this game? How can we get training right to play against Liverpool at Anfield on Saturday?
I'm almost like I've given up. I'm just end the season now.
Yeah, Cass's Liverpool take on Chelsea 12:30 today, live here on talkSPORT, and then 3 o'clock kickoffs. You've got Brighton, Wales, Fulham, Bournemouth, Sunderland, Man United, and then 5:30 this evening, Man City take on Brentford. Lots going on. I mean, Cass, for your Liverpool, important for them to bounce back and end the season on a high.
Yeah, I didn't think they played particularly well at Old Trafford. Disappointed in Verts again. Frimpong, I thought the two wide boys struggled. Look, credit to United, they had a bit more. And Liverpool are facing a Chelsea team, Shebahn, that are all over the place. The Chelsea side, and you could go through a list of 10 different problems of Chelsea. Liverpool have their issues. And I sort of agree with what Simon was saying there, that I've always said I want Slot to see out the season and then reflect back on it. But I don't believe Liverpool as a football club sack their managers very easily.
Yeah.
And I like that attitude. And that includes all clubs, just not the club I support. But I like clubs to show loyalty to managers. And look, there is lines in the sand when sometimes you have to literally move on from a manager. That's just natural. But I generally think they should get even more support than most people do.
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea, the basket case of Chelsea this season, I mean, none of these results were happening under Enzo Maresca.
No.
Went wrong with Liam Rosenior. I think the lads threw the towel in on him. They got him the sack essentially at the end of the day.
Well, there's too many Chelsea players playing really poorly, and that goes for some of their big names. And I listened to you yesterday with Dino and Gabby, probably the day before I think it was, and talking about star players that are not playing well. Cole Palmer is a terrific footballer. We know he's hanging onto the ball too long. Now, he's got in the habit of just dwelling on the ball and getting caught on it.
Yeah.
And then Caicedo's not making tackles. Now, that's your midfield dead in the water. And then you go the back line. Well, everybody knows Chelsea's heart of their defence. If you said to me, one player, and this goes down the road of experience, Shebahn, is Marquinhos is a player that Chelsea should be going after. He's 31. He's going to be 32 very soon. But he's perfect for Chelsea, I think. Now, whether he'd leave PSG, and I know they're in the final, but they might move on in the summer from a Marquinhos. That they do that, PSG, quite often, of a certain age. They've done it with Cavani when went to Man United. They do it with big names they've had. They move on from. But I think Chelsea should be looking exactly at that type of player to lead by example in that heart of their defence. Because Colwell's going to be available for next season because he should have recovered by now with his injury and going into next year with a good pre-season, he'll be fine. Very
quickly, do you think Chelsea should have appointed a manager between now and the end of the season, knowing they've got a cup final ahead of them, knowing they've got to turn the results around, or are they right to stick with the interim Callum McFarlane?
Well, I feel sorry for McFarlane because he's been thrown in the deep end. Would it have been an ideal suggestion or someone to put in place? No, it's not. I think you needed someone with huge experience to, whether it's an interim just be up until the end of the season. They clearly have their mind on who they want.
Do you think it's Frank?
No chance. No chance.
Why no chance?
Because I don't think Frank would want it now. Not because he wouldn't want to manage Chelsea again. I think he just knows that ideal, that model, he is not going to get his way of how he wants to manage. And Frank is experienced and won enough and done enough to be able to make calls on what he thinks Chelsea is needed at the football club. So I think Frank just thinks, well, they're not going to do what I would like them to do for me to be the manager. So what's the point? If that changes, then I'm sure he would one day want to be Chelsea manager again. But he's also earned the right to take Coventry to the Premier League and be the manager for them. And should want to, and I believe he will. He's probably loved his time at Coventry and gone, no, I'm going in next season to the Premier League with Coventry.
I know. When you just think there's a bit of romance left in the world and that'll happen, and then you just...
It might do, Shebahn, but...
heart ripped out.
The model that's in place at the moment, I don't think Frank would even consider going back there.
Well, we'll see what happens this afternoon. Live on talkSPORT, Liverpool take on Chelsea. Chelsea fans, you can share your thoughts on that. 03717 223344. Coming up next, we'll discuss this unrest at Real Madrid, the training ground bust-ups, the angry fan petitions, and the possibility that they lose the title this weekend against their great rival. It's the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter, working with you.
Real Madrid striker Kylian Mbappe, who has faced criticism from his own fans after taking a trip to Italy on a mega yacht with his partner. He's recovering from a hamstring injury he suffered on April the 24th and was given some days off last week. He arrived back in Madrid on Sunday, shortly before kick-off, when Madrid played away against Espanyol. Many fans thought Mbappe should not have taken a break and should have stuck with the team, going through a difficult time at this particular time. Alvaro Arbeloa said, well, in their free time, each player does what they see fit, and I don't get involved with that. Mbappe's representative said part of the criticism was based on an over-interpretation of elements related to a recovery period, strictly supervised by the club, without reflecting the reality of Kylian's commitment and the work that he puts in every day for the team. So that was Mbappe and Real Madrid. But then there's Liverpool. What was going on with them? Danny's old club. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk had to defend some of his teammates who were criticised for being abroad last week on a day off as they headed into the Manchester United game, a game they ultimately lost by 3-2. It was put to Van Dijk that some of his teammates had gone on holiday last week. He says, I'm not sure it was a holiday, it was a city trip. But I think if you're one day off and you don't have many days off, then you decide what you want to do with your family. We're not kids. Everyone's an adult. I wish we had a couple more days off at times because I think it works both ways.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football.
Chance to win it! Oh!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Hall last night singing happy birthday to the 100-year-old David Attenborough.
Oh, yes, I know. I listened to you yesterday morning.
Oh.
He is an iconic figure.
Is that not sensational?
Yeah.
Look at him. How is he 100?
Well, because he was born in
Oh, shut up.
1926.
He looks great. Oh.
I know, he does. He looks really well. And what a life he's had, by the way. You know, just doing something he's loved.
Yeah.
Imagine doing something you love every day.
Yeah. That was on the BBC last night. Thank you very much, the BBC, for letting us use that footage. But yeah, I mean, you would have known David Attenborough as a man.
Mm.
You know, like you knew.
Well, I remember him from my first memories of David Attenborough was when he did the gorilla sketch. Yes. Well, sketch. It's not really a sketch. It's when he filmed gorillas and mixing with them and their behaviour, which was extraordinary. I would imagine that would probably be in the 60s. I mean, but I would have seen it as a young boy years after. But there's many clips of David Attenborough and what he's done regarding wildlife and the, you know, it's just been a legendary figure.
Yeah. We call my wee boy David Attenborough because he's obsessed with animals and like the science behind animals and, you know.
Well, it's such a... I've always found animals, it's so brutal, the world of animals. Yeah. You know, like, I take an example. I drove up where I live, and there, as I go in, there's a little bit of a wooded area, and there was a fox with a squirrel in its mouth. And I immediately thought, and that's how brutal life of animals is.
Yeah. I mean, even when you
one goes from other to kill another to kill another to basically eat. That's all it is. Eat.
Do you remember the Attenborough show when the penguin was running on the ice and then the thing broke off and he was trapped on this big lump of ice drifting out to sea, and the other penguins are like, run. The penguins like.
Have you seen the one with the seals on the
ice
where the killer whales?
The killer whales are then breaking the
ice deliberately, creating waves.
And then even when they're in, I don't know, the like deserts and stuff, and then you see like one of the baby cubs getting left behind, it kills you.
No, it's brutal.
It kills you.
Wildlife and what happens to them and survival rates, you know, and you see crabs, you see the one with the crabs when, you know, and they're literally getting attacked left, right and centre by eels on the way in. There's birds that might take them out. You know, it's like, it's incredible that it's just watching it is quite hard to, you know, and just what they do to each other, animals in the, you know, and chimpanzees. Have you seen the one in chimpanzees where they literally, the troop of chimps will go after one that they literally tear apart.
Yeah.
They gang up on.
Oh, that's cruel. And then at the very end of it, when you're watching it with someone and then you get that savage person who goes, that's the food chain. I'm like, you have no heart.
But how else can you explain it? Because it is basically all what they do is for food.
Yeah.
So it is the food chain.
It is. I know, but it's cruel, the food chain. But happy birthday, Sir David, all the same.
Yeah.
Wonder if he's making anything new at the moment. Come on, David. Crack on. Yeah, it makes some work.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, it's always nice to chat about stuff like that. Real Madrid, by the way, it's been quite a week there, Cass. Yeah. So firstly, Fede Valverde and Tchouaméni apparently got into this fight in the training ground. Both players have then been fined. Then the Real fans grouped together to sign a petition requesting that Kylian Mbappe leave the club after he was pictured on holiday. Whilst recovering from a knee injury, people are not happy about that decision to go away when he should have rested at home. It's reported something like 50 million people have signed this petition. Is that 60 million? Yeah. That's mental to get Kylian Mbappe out of the club. And with Barcelona being able to win the league title this weekend against their rivals in the Clásico this weekend, all is not well. Have you ever seen anything remotely close to that in the dressing room, Cass?
Well, look, the club haven't won anything. Look, I'm talking about winning La Liga. Since Mbappe joined Real Madrid, they've won the Super Cup, but they haven't won the Liga and they haven't won the Champions League, which is they're the flagship club for winning them sort of elite level competitions. And Mbappe, it's about managing him, because I don't see Mbappe as a problem. I look at him as one of the great players in world football, which he clearly is. It's about managing him, and that's where Ancelotti you'd look at and go, what a job he would do with someone like Mbappe, because he had Ronaldo. You know, Eric Cantona, who I know, I played with Eric's brother in Marseille, Joel Cantona, And it was about managing Eric. That's what Fergie did, managed Eric. And yes, there were privileges for Eric that weren't for others.
I mean, Simon Jordan said this earlier on the week. He's not a normal person.
No.
You know, these players aren't normal people.
No.
And you have to manage that and expect them to behave differently. So his idea of relaxing and recovery might not be
Well, he went with his girlfriend, so he's not gone away on a beano with his lads, and
to Vegas, to recover at MGM.
Yeah, I mean, look, he said things, and look, in 2024, he went on Instagram and he put out his views on not to vote in an extreme views, government party, and I thought that was sailing too close to the wind, because you have to be careful with politics. Everyone has their own right to vote who they want to, but he's also done other things. If you look at the Monaco transfer to PSG, and this was more on PSG than him, but he, went for 180 million euros, and they didn't have to pay to the year after. And then when he did sign, he then touted himself out to go to Real Madrid, and that nearly came about. And then he pulled the plug on it and stayed at PSG.
Yeah.
So he upset Real Madrid fans a few years back.
And you look at PSG without Kylian Mbappe, it's like the right thing happened.
Well, yeah, again. But you have to, if you're going to manage, look, there's always been incredibly gifted players. And sometimes you have to manage them a bit different.
Could Jose Mourinho manage this situation?
I think Jose would have to be Jose and just be totally honest and up front about the way he is. Because Jose wouldn't accept some things that Mbappe is and does. So it takes a certain type, but he's not a problem, because no one that gifted is a problem. It's about using him in the right way, trying to get him to... Look, we know that Enrique at PSG tried to convince Mbappe to the team, and the team ethic is way more important than just his goals and his assists and just the influence he has on a game. And he didn't quite buy into that.
Yeah.
Look, PSG have won it last year and in the final this year.
More fallout from the El Clasico, by the way, on the Trans Euro Express tomorrow night from 9 o'clock here on talkSPORT. It's the weekend breakfast on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll look back on last night's playoff semi-final first leg between Hull and Millwall. Good morning.
I'm going to go Friday after work pint, number 5, mate.
Number 5.
There he is. So do you want it? You ready?
Yeah, go on.
In number 5.
Number 5.
Friday after work pint. You've worked hard all week. You want to go there, just have that first pint. You've earned it.
Number 4.
A beer garden pint. This can happen any time of day.
Good pint.
Any time, any day of the week. Yeah. Saturday afternoon, meet the lads. Sunday afternoon.
Good pint.
Right, sun's got to be
Number 3.
Football pint. The football pint's in. You meet your lads, meeting up Saturday afternoon or Sunday, whatever it is. First pint, in you go. Hey, we're going to get a beer again.
Yeah.
Number 2.
The holiday pint. Mr. O'Hara wants that one. Yes. When you get there, you've done the journey. You've gone through everything you need to do. Passport, security checks, the journey. You get out, you smell, you feel a bit grubby. Don't care. You get on wherever you get to then you get to your destination. Bags get dropped. Sit there. You've earned this pint.
Yeah, it's a good pint.
Good pint.
That's my favourite.
There you go.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Airport. It's the only one, mate. Airport pint. It's the only one. You're there. It doesn't matter what time. Not with lads. No. Doesn't matter who you're with. If you're with me, 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 3, whatever it is, that's the point.
Do you know what's disappointing in this whole, ranking that we've done?
Have I missed something?
Yeah, well, your missus. There's not one pint that involves your missus. Not one.
I'm at the
Where's
airport.
Hannah in this?
I'm at the airport with her.
No, you're not. You're not at the airport with. You're with Razor Ruddock.
No, hold on.
You're not.
Hold on. Let me
Hannah's involved in none of these
No,
pints.
hold on. I'm at the airport with her, definitely. I'm definitely with a holiday pint. I'm definitely with her at football. I'm definitely not.
Good morning. How are you doing today? You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT with me, Shebahn Aherne, and former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino. Great message here, Cass. From Darren, 81089. Sir David Attenborough is the Maradona of the human beings and wildlife.
Oh, good line, yeah.
That's very true, actually. He is. Some of your headlines this weekend. talkSPORT understands Crystal Palace have made it clear to Andoni Areola that he is their number one target to replace Oliver Glasner. Bruno Fernandes has been named the Football Writers Player of the Year. Manchester City's Bunny Shaw won the Women's Award. That's causing a divide, isn't it?
Well, both have, really, haven't they? With obviously Fernandes and Bunny Shaw.
Yeah.
Both.
I think they both deserve to win it.
Right.
But a lot of people saying it should be Declan Rice. You had mentioned Antoine Semenyo.
Well, I would always add that if you're champions and Arsenal become champions, does that make a difference? And I would always say yes, that makes a difference. You know, Declan Rice has been extraordinary for Arsenal this year.
Yeah.
Look, Bruno Fernandes has done really, really well, and he'd probably make top three. Yeah.
Okay. Manchester United could almost sew up third spot in the Premier League today. They travel to Sunderland, while the Black Cats are just 4 points outside the European spots. What a season they've had. Ahead of the game, Michael Carrick said despite securing qualification for next season's Champions League, they need to end the season strong.
Pride, responsibility, playing for this great club, great supporters, really good togetherness within the group as well, and it's about improving and evolving all the time as well. So as I said over the last week or so, in terms of the Champions League, it's a step. It's a really good step. But that's not the end. That's not the end at all. So we want to keep improving. We want to finish strong, you know. And understanding there's a little bit of a feeling of games to go, and it does get right to the end of it. maybe it does change slightly, but it doesn't in terms of us preparing for the game and wanting to do well, and whoever plays, play well and try and win the game.
Cass, is he ready for the Manchester United job full-time and all that it entails?
I don't see why not. I think he's done an extraordinary job. Michael has handled himself. He's made very conscious decisions of how he sees the United team, how they set up and play. And it's been effective, and they have a style that hurts teams now. They look like they can get way more goals than they did in the early part of the season. I think he's brought the togetherness of the football club back as well and won the fans over quite comfortably. So, yeah, absolutely, he's ready. Will he be the answer? We don't know. But what you can say, since the day he walked into the club and took over, it's been an upward trajectory from the start. He's done brilliantly.
Yeah. And then that's the thing. He's done brilliantly well. Next season, it only gets harder.
Of course he does. But then, there's no guarantee on anybody, is there? When you're given that opportunity, you can think long and hard about anyone. It doesn't mean they're going to be successful. But what he's shown is he's brought some old traditional ways of what United are about back into the fray, and his team have played very well.
Well, Sunderland, Manchester United is at 3 o'clock today. Adrian Durham, who did not want Bruno Fernandes to win the Player of the Year award, he said he can go and stick his 19 assists, didn't he? Said that's okay, enough to earn it.
Let me give you a comparison, right? Because obviously, because being champions adds a bit more to what you've done in this. Like Bernardo Silva, what he's probably been City's best player. Okay, do you think Szoboszlai should be in front of Fernandes?
No, I think the assists are speaking for themselves.
What about the goals?
For Bruno Fernandes, I think Szoboszlai has been brilliant. I just think Manchester United have been better than Liverpool this season. Maybe that's why Bruno Fernandes just goes above him. But then I would also make the case for Antoine Semenyo, as you'd mentioned, the season he's had, and Declan Rice. He is going to finish in a Champions League final, and it looks very, very likely that they're going to win the Premier League. And he's never had a bad game. No. So I can see why people would argue that. But at the same time, I look and go, well, as an individual and how Manchester United were on the floor, I think Bruno's done all that he could do this season to make sure that Manchester United are where they are. It's an interesting one. You can let us know your thoughts on that this morning. 03717223344 is the number. Game Day Live with Adrian Durham at 2:30 with all of the goals as they go in. It's time now for this.
Let them come, let them come, let them come. Let them all come down to the dead. Let them come, let them come, let them come.
I only have to beat them again.
The guys were talking about this in the office the other day.
Yeah, there's a long version of this as well. We've had our jelly deals, we've had our pints of beer, and when the teams come on the pitch, we will all start to cheer. Let them go. Yeah. It's a classic. I don't know what year this came out, but this is a long time ago.
And it goes off at the Den when it comes on. Last night, Millwall travelled to Hull. The game finished goalless with the second leg to come at the Den then on Monday night. We can speak to Millwall fan now who was at the game in Hull last night. Good morning, Mickey Simpson. Mickey, good morning. Bright and early with us after a late night. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. I got home about 2 hours ago, so I was waiting for you, and then I'm going to bed.
Well, Mickey, are you going to bed a little bit happier than you were? Because obviously a draw is a decent result back at the Den, the new Den. So tell us how you're feeling just before you go to bed.
I think a draw was probably a fair result, really. I think with these two legs, as long as you don't lose in it, then everything's still in there. So I think to come away with a draw up there is a result, really, because I think Monday at the Den, as you know, it's going to be a full house and it's going to be a very intimidating place for Hull.
Yeah. Do you think Alex Neil would change tactics slightly? Because I suggested earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if Ivanovic comes alongside Coburn and Bannon comes back into the team because of how creative he can be when he's on the ball. Do you think he'll do that, Mickey?
Yeah, I think possibly he could end up putting two up front just to go for it, really. Out of all the managers we've had recently, he's the one he just wants to go out and win games and doesn't mind, rolling the dice. And I think that he'll probably try it, and if it don't work, then he'll make some changes and, try it differently like he's done previously this season. But I do think Coburn needs someone up there with him.
I was going to just say one little quick one. What did you make of the disallowed goal? Well, the goal that wasn't given.
from inside the ground, you sort of, it was over and done with double quick. But once you look back at it, I reckon if that was at our ground, I reckon we would have probably got the goal. But because obviously a lot more fans at an away end, you were never going to get it. I mean, if you look at the goal, what was scored at ours, 2 weeks ago, when the ball was pretty much bundled over the net and it was given, and then you look at that and you think, it was probably half a dozen of one, half a dozen of each other. They were both pulling each other. It was just, I think that the whole player, a little bit of amateuratics where he sort of threw his legs in the air and looked as if he'd been pulled backwards. I think that was why the ref gave it. If he had just gone down normally, I think the goal would have stood.
See, in terms of when you talk about the Den and the atmosphere and how intimidating it'll be, I love the idea of Millwall being in the Premier League. But do you, Mickey, think they're ready? Do you think they're a team ready now to be in the Premier League?
I think we're underdogs, so you could ask, when would we ever be ready? Because we don't have those budgets, we don't have those spending powers, wages, everything else. So I think if we could get one season in the Prem, we'll have the best fun for a season, and that money would pretty much set us up for years to come. So yeah, I think, look, if there's other teams what are in the Premier, what go in the Prem and come out. Isn't it about time we had a chance? I mean, you're talking years ago, 88, when we were in the top of the first division.
Made me feel old.
Yeah. Sorry about that. But yeah, but I don't see why we can't. I mean, realistically, everyone's guilty pleasure would be Millwall in the Premier League, and most fans want to see us in there just to shake it up a little bit. Yeah. Our fans would definitely make some noises in a lot of those libraries.
Yeah. Mickey, just before we go, I love the character of this Millwall team. I think it's shone all season. Every time I've gone to a game, I just think the amount of blocks that people have thrown themselves in front of the ball, they all fight for each other. And I think they've really endeared themselves to the Millwall faithful.
Yeah, 100%. I think what Alex Neil's done, and you've got to understand, he's been there 14 months. And this is his first full season in charge. And what he's done with the mentality, the team, the camaraderie, the team fighting for each other is just unbelievable. And I think, he was probably the most Millwall, sort of manager, what we never thought we needed. And now he's here, and he's sort of taken that Millwall mentality and put it into the players. And, to be third, or as I said, on our wages, our budgets, everything else is unreal. So yeah, listen, what comes of it? What comes Monday? It's all written in the stars. But yeah, I think we'll be at Wembley in the final with Southampton, depending what their punishment is.
Hey Mickey, who do you think was better, this team or Cass's Millwall team?
Listen, you can't take away from the 8, because you look at the 88 and it was built with a lot of youth what come through. Yeah. It was it was built with George Graham before the Doc, and then the Doc carried on the good work. So you can't take anything away from them finishing and getting into the first division. But this team is different. This team is a lot of individuals who are working as a team, and these aren't big names or whatever, but they will, like the 88 team, there's a lot of players here what will end up and go do bigger and better things going forward.
Well, listen, I look forward to hopefully speaking to you more next season, Mickey Simpson from
definitely.
That Millwall podcast. Get to bed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Come on, you Lions.
Speak to you later on, Mickey. All the best. Playoff matches and finals live and exclusive for you here on talkSPORT. 3 more games to come today. Middlesbrough Southampton 12:30. That's talkSPORT 2. And then Stevenage Stockport is at 3 o'clock from League One, and Bolton versus Bradford 8 p.m. on talkSPORT 2 from League One as well. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT. Up next, this morning's Back Pages. Jason Cunny was alongside Jeremy O'Hara on the Sports Bar after the game. He said he can see Arsenal shutting PSG down in the final.
Arteta will not allow a basketball match. He won't. He won't.
Was it going to be a tactically defence then?
No, it won't be tactically defence, but I think that Arsenal, they're measured. Arsenal control games. They don't. Now, Arsenal are brilliant at doing that. They can be at times dull to watch because of that, but in a one-off game, who cares? I think Luis Enrique would probably want it being more open affair. I don't think Arteta will allow it.
Not the game we were expecting last night. You pointed out there, I said over 4.5 goals. I did think they're a bit well done to PSG and Luis Enrique for shutting out the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that proved there's another side to them, right?
Yeah, they can dig in when they need to. I mean, it helps they've got wonderful footballers. And I guess when you get a goal so early after 3 minutes with that attacking front line, it doesn't make the job easier. But when you've got the pace of Kvaratskhelia and Dembele, Doué can run, you've got Vitinha in the middle of the park, it does help the fact that you could just sit in there and defend because of the counter-attack, no one's catching you. You're being behind them. So, yeah, it's gonna be fascinating now to see what happens in the final. PSG was probably the team I didn't want. I'd prefer Bayern. But now it's PSG. You've got to go out there and put a performance in. It's going to be difficult. And I've said it before. I think Arsenal, to win this fixture, potentially may have to be perfect in terms of they might have to put in the best performance they've ever put in under Mikel Arteta in any competition.
Is that the only way you can see Arsenal winning, by playing the best they've ever played?
I think they have to think defensively. They have to be rock solid. No,
they are pretty much like that anyway.
Yeah, but there's still times you give it. Like if you give that sort of opportunity to Dembele, he ain't missing that.
No, you're right.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We're taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Good morning to you. How are you? You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne, former Chelsea striker. Tony Cascarino here on the Weekend.
You forgot there because you worked with so many different people this week, haven't you?
What's your name
From
again?
Gabby
Have I
to Dean. Who else?
I swear I've seen you before. Yeah, coming up for you here on talkSPORT today. After us, Max and Charlie bringing you the warm-up from 9 o'clock. GameDay live from 11. Commentary of Liverpool-Chelsea's 12:30 here on talkSPORT. And then Adrian Durham bringing you all of the goals as they go in from the Prem and beyond. That's 2:30. You've got Sunderland, Man United in there. And then over on talkSPORT 2 from the Championship. The playoffs at Middlesbrough, Southampton. And then it's GameDay phone-in with Jamie and Jason from 5:30. Taking all of your calls. And they've got updates, by the way, of Man City, Brentford as well. And then huge night tonight. Will we go to bed tonight? Will we do an all-nighter? 8 p.m. Fabio Wardley against Daniel Dubois from Manchester with Adam Catterall and all of the top talkSPORT team. Keep it talkSPORT. Download the talkSPORT app for free. Treat yourself to a little one now. And stay with us for the day and for the rest of your life. It's time now for this.
Well, you're going to know where I am soon, Shebahn, because we're going to be together out in the States, aren't we? Looking forward to it? Excited?
I know.
What, you're going to be in a state? Or?
Well, we'll be in a state.
I'll be in a state. I'll be in a state.
I'll be rescuing her every
So what's the procedure then? What are you doing? So you're going, but where are you faring first? Where are you?
Charlotte.
Yeah,
Charlotte.
we're in the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. Any tips for Charlotte, by the way, people listening to the show?
If you're in North Carolina or Charlotte, we need some tips. Because knowing Steve Clark, your man likes a place in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, he does. He does.
Yeah, I would imagine in Charlotte, or just on the outskirts of Charlotte, there's a lot of outskirts that you can get away from everything.
Absolutely, yeah. There's lots of forests and all that sort of stuff. And
Have you been in Charlotte before?
Well, I've been down to North Carolina, South and North Carolina.
Mm.
Have you?
Yeah.
Like, what's it,
Well, my dad lived in Pennsylvania, so you just come down, and I've done the sort of Virginia and downwards,
Nice.
that side of it.
Yeah, then we're in Boston for a couple of days, aren't we, for the
The East
matches, and then Miami as well.
Can't wait for Boston.
I know,
Last time I
that'll
was
be
in
good.
Boston, right? It was St Patrick's Day, and I got so blitzed. It was like 3 p.m. and Jamie put me back to bed, and then I woke up spewing my guts up at
lovely.
8 p.m. and then lay awake in the middle of the night with cramp, and then he came in like, "Ibs," and at that point I was already right in the mist of the hangover.
Yeah.
So I'll do Boston differently this time.
Okay, well, we've got all that to look forward to, haven't we?
Sam, back pages, please.
Let's talk about Granit Xhaka. An extraordinary interview with him this morning in the Times Sports Pull-Out. Martin Hardy chatting to him ahead of today's game against Man United. It's an incredible backstory that Granit Xhaka's got, and it got me thinking, Cass, about players going through hardships. But I'm going to just read you a little bit from this story.
I saw the headline. Yeah. Go on.
Talk of his father. This is talking about Xhaka. Talk of his father takes us back to Kosovo. Ragip, that's his dad, and Elmaze, his mum, had been together for 3 months when, at the age of 22, he was arrested for taking part in demonstrations against the communist central government in Belgrade. He was given a 6-year prison sentence and shared a cell with 4 other men. There would be 10 minutes of exercise each day and no contact with the outside world. Nobody knew if he's still alive or not, says Xhaka. So even with his 10 minutes, sometimes he had months without speaking with his family members. I asked my dad as well, because I was not born. Maybe I'm on half of the story now, because he's not telling me every time what happened. But day by day, week by week, I'm starting to get the puzzle. I understand more. There were beatings when he was in prison. He starts to tell you a little bit, but then he feels like he needs to stop. My dad is nearly 64, and hopefully I get the puzzle done. One side of me is very interested because you want to know what's happened and all these things. Another side, you feel so sorry because of how everything went. And it says after 3 years in prison, his dad was released early, and they fled to Switzerland, which is obviously, he ended up having Swiss nationality. I mean, that is an unbelievable story, isn't it, Cass? You sort of think, it's that kind of thing that makes you wonder whether that breeds an inner determination in a player because they've had to go through that when they were younger.
Well, it's definitely in his DNA. I mean, he's a guy that showed incredible determination as a player, that he suffered at Arsenal at times where he got criticised and he won them over, and he's done that throughout his career. So, yeah, there's something in him, instilled in him. And that's an extraordinary story to, your dad to be in prison and, and all the things that he's probably uncomfortable talking about, because the older generation are definitely more that way inclined, where they'll avoid having them conversations if they can.
Yeah.
I mean, your upbringing shapes who you are.
Yeah.
For the good or the bad. But I watched the interview with Xhaka, that must have been about a month ago, and he was really emotional, because quickly he had to become like a man of the house kind of thing, and make sure and his mum did everything for him.
Yeah, he said he had a key at 4. When he was 4 years old, he had a key to the house.
That was it. And I think it can make people...
That responsibility.
Makes them exceptional.
Yeah,
and, when you look at what he's come from, for what he's achieved, and now to be this leader of men, when it could have gone the other way, because you wouldn't blame him if it happened the other way, because people without, a strong mother or father figure can quite often struggle and have those issues as they grow up. But I think for him, for what he's achieved...
Well, he's become very independent, hasn't he, as a person? Yeah. And I add to one thing, is because whether it's right or wrong, there's a number of players over the years who didn't particularly want to go to Sunderland, okay? That was we all heard about this, and it is true to a degree. Why did he end up at Sunderland? He could have... I'm sure he would have had about other options.
True.
He went to go to a place that he wanted to go and play football in.
Yeah,
and that says it all about him.
Yeah, it does. And I think he's also been an absolute revelation for them, hasn't he? He's been outstanding this season, and I think that speaks to his character and also, Sunderland's sort of, the fact that they've managed to avoid relegation this year has been absolutely brilliant. So fair play to Granit Xhaka. It's really worth reading that interview in the Times this morning.
Yeah, good story.
Pep has total faith in Foden. This is interesting as well. Pep Guardiola has told Phil Foden to focus on what he does best as Man City look to bring the England star back into form. This is in the Mirror. A lot of other papers have got it as well. The 25-year-old was the finest player in the Premier League 2 years ago, but struggled badly last season. And after shining in the first half of this term, his performances have disappeared again, it says here. This City have shown their faith in Foden, agreeing to a new long-term deal for the academy graduate that will commit him to the club into the next decade. But he hasn't started a Premier League game in over 2 months, which could harm his chance of making Thomas Tuchel's England squad. First of all, Cass, obviously, we understand, we all know the quality that Phil Foden has. We all know that.
Yeah.
But are you surprised at the moment they've given him a new contract?
Yes, I am surprised. Like you just said, he's not started a game of any note for a couple of months. He's been a sub and he's become a sub regularly. So, and in that moment, he's been offered a new deal. Now, if you want to be a cynic and go, well, he's only been offered a new deal because they're protecting their asset, because he's still relatively a very young man, I hope not, because I just hope somehow he can find his forward game. Phil is a top player. He's got a lot of ability and he can do many things that many other players can't. But at the moment, he's a substitute for Manchester City.
I think it's brilliant that they've offered him a new contract. Reason being, kind of similar to the Xhaka situation. You don't know all the time what's going on behind closed doors. And I think Phil had mentioned last season that did he not miss an England camp because he just needed some personal time? Did that happen? So I think that's a big indication that, maybe he just needs a moment to personally sort some stuff out. And then when all that's right at home, things will get better on the pitch. So I like that Man City haven't discarded him because he has been brilliant for him. Yeah. He's won a treble. He's been massively part of that. So I think if they give that trust and that loyalty in time, I think he will give it back, and I think he will repay it on the pitch if he can get everything right. So I like the idea that they've given him this contract, because quite often players are just tossed to the side if it's not happening. Yeah. So I kind of like that for the loyalty side.
Yeah, and Pep's shown real faith in him. He's talked him up today as well in his press conference yesterday, I should say. So
cracking player.
Yeah, he is, and that's the thing. We would all love to see him probably, dominating that number 10 role or in contention for that number 10 role for England, but it just hasn't happened recently. 27,
Sam? 27?
I think it's 25.
25. Come on, he's still a young guy.
25, and look,
so there's still time.
You know what's in there. In there.
Yeah, there is absolutely a player in there. The big thing for Phil is that if you're not in the team and you're not in the team at the start of next season and you're still on the bench, then that new contract will mean it's neither in or there.
Yeah.
It will affect him because he's lost his England place, definitely, even being a squad player. And then you can take it, well, if he's subbed now and he's left out next season, he might be just within a 25-man squad, not even on the bench or getting game time.
Yeah, I hope he can turn it around. Really do. Sam Stevens, thank you very much. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more. Coming up next, we'll look ahead to the rest of the playoff action in the EFL today. Good morning.
Let me apologise immediately if there's any smugness or glee from my co-host today. But you are used to Alex Crook by now. But Gabby Agbonlahor is also very happy. Put your cigar down. Great performance. Yeah. Well done. Congratulations.
Very much, thank you.
Do you reckon you could manage to be just a little bit humble because, you haven't won anything?
Yeah, we haven't won anything yet, but, Nottingham Forest fans, last Friday, the messages you were reading out, Sam, the callers, the direct messages on every possible social media platform I was getting, celebrating the fireworks. They had a concert after the game, only to get thumped on probably the most one-sided semi-final second leg you will ever see. Thumped. Couldn't get out of their own half. Light work for Aston Villa. Who's next?
I heard you having a go at the Arsenal fans this week, and Arsenal for having fireworks after they'd got through to the final in Budapest. I noticed, and I had pointed it out to you at least 3 times this week, that Villa have fireworks before every game, and they had fireworks before the semi-final last night.
Fireworks, mate. They're like sparklers that you have on your champagne when you're in a nightclub.
Might be on your champagne.
Yeah, they weren't fireworks. They're like little ones. What did the manager do after the game?
I don't know.
Emery?
It was definitely.
He clapped the fans for about 3 seconds and walked down the tunnel.
Okay, well, it was
Mikel
a champagne
Arteta
performance, wasn't it?
was
last
doing
time?
the Haymack Arena around the stadium. They're doing a tour of the stadium. You
Well,
know,
he's quite used to getting to Europa League finals, so that's probably
Oh,
why.
okay.
Is there not a small part of you that is worried that your legendary status is going to be diminished even further? Because surely you have to win something to be a legend at a football club.
I totally agree.
Knuckleball free kicks. They used to be all the rage, but when was the last time you saw someone score with one? We're going to take a look at why we're not really seeing them anymore and also explain a bit more about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s, probably because that Ronaldo strike in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do you do? Top corner, top bins.
The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Good morning, it's Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne. Former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino is here.
Good morning. Sorry, I've lost my wires.
And as marbles, Chelsea head to Anfield on the back of 6 straight defeats as they look to climb back into the Champions League places. Ahead of this one, interim Blues boss Callum McFarlane says he's determined to turn the club's fortunes around.
No one likes losing games of football, but I'm enjoying the challenge. I'm embracing the challenge, and I've got a job to do and try and support the players and give them the best platform to win football games. It's my job, so if we win, I'll enjoy it. If not, I'll, just like everyone else, I'll be frustrated and angry.
And that one is live and exclusive on talkSPORT today, 12:30. In the Championship playoffs, it's all up and running. Middlesbrough hosts Southampton in the semi-final first leg at the Riverside Stadium, but the real story is all about Spygate, this incident involving a spy after Southampton were charged by the EFL for having a little snoop on their playoff opponents. On the Sports Bar Weekender, Toby, the Saints fan, absolutely disgusted by the club's behaviour.
I'm disgraced by the club, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I'm going up there tomorrow. I'm leaving at 6 in the morning. It is an absolute disgrace.
The game is live and exclusive. talkSPORT 2 today, 12:30. And there's a huge all-English heavyweight clash tonight between Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois, as Wardley looks to hold on to his WBO title in Manchester. This is sensational. Ahead of their bout, Daniel Dubois says he's ready to get the job done.
From being champion and going for it again, so I'm really up for it. And I'm just going to show there's levels to this, and you guys are going to see. I'm going to take him out, put him to sleep, get my belt back.
Two big lads going at it tonight in a Battle of Britain. It's going to be live here on the talkSPORT YouTube channel from 8 o'clock. What a huge day we've got coming up. What a crucial time in the season as well. 03717 22 3344 is the number. 81089 if you want to send us a text. Weekend breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning. Right, the EFL has now charged Southampton with spying on Middlesbrough ahead of the Championship playoff semi-final this Saturday. Here's how that breaking news sounded live on talkSPORT late last night.
talkSPORT can confirm Southampton Football Club has today been charged with a breach of EFL regulations, and the matter will be referred to the Independent Disciplinary Commission. This coming in just the last few moments. This follows a request from the EFL for the club's observations after a complaint from Middlesbrough, who of course they're playing tomorrow in the first leg of the Championship playoff, relating to alleged unauthorised filming on private property ahead of the two clubs meeting for tomorrow. In the Sky Bet Championship playoff semi-final first leg, the charges relate to a number of regulations.
Yeah, I mean, this is an absolute mess. Last time this happened with Bielsa, 2019, Spanish Derby with Leeds, 200 grand fine for this one. It is not a good look. We can look ahead to the playoffs now, though, with a man who knows all about it. And here to tell us more, our EFL expert, Ian Danter. Good morning, Dance. How are you today? Never a dull moment, eh?
Never a dull moment anywhere in the playoffs, football. It's just, these stories just keep uncovering themselves, don't they? Good morning, by the way. I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
We're good, Dance. Dance, I want to ask you first, I mean, how seriously, because obviously Derby, this all happened, didn't it, at Derby a few years back when Frank was there, Frank Lampard, and how serious is this one compared to that one, or is it a bit of a, you have to separate them?
Well, there's a stupidity attached to this. Let's say this right off the bat.
Yeah, idiots.
And also, spotter's badge to the bloke who saw, or the woman who saw the guy filming in the bushes at the training ground. That's eagle-eyed stuff, that, for me. So well played. They deserve a bit of credit for seeing what was going on. Yeah. But I don't know what Southampton. I mean, we talk about marginal gains in the game a lot, don't we, guys? And I don't really know, other than trying to work out whether Middlesbrough were going to play a three-man centre-back system or a four-man defensive system. That's all I can think that Southampton were trying to ascertain ahead of this playoff. I think it is more serious in a way because of what's at stake, Tony. I think the Derby Leeds thing, yes, those two teams were very much in the mix for promotion around that time, and there was lots going on. But this is the end of the season. This is the crux of the season. This is down to the crunch, and something like this occurs. And the fact that you just heard in the news bulletin there that the EFL are going to expedite their sort of disciplinary processes to get to the bottom of this and issue a decision within the normal framework that they normally would. That says it all to me.
Yeah, I mean, we should mention as well, they have been charged, but it's all still alleged for now. But either way, Dance, it's such an ugly look, especially when it is such an exciting time for the fans. It's almost kind of taken out on them at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, that Southampton fan that called up last night, I can understand his frustration because you want to win on the level playing field, if you pardon the obvious pun. You want to do things the right way, and marginal gains can be won in other ways in game. Never mind pre-game. And Southampton have been playing so well anyway of late, and look, on the face of it, going into this semi-final first leg to be in slightly better shape than Middlesbrough, it just sits uncomfortably with me that they would think if something was attempted that it was even worth trying.
Oh, Dan, so we're running away with ourselves here, where we're going, look, it's a two-legged affair, and you can also change from what you see in the opening 5 or 10 minutes. Now, you know, adapting is part of what you have to do in football. If they slightly have a different organiser, and, you know, by watching them go training doesn't necessarily mean they're actually going to use that tactic. It might be just something the coach is looking at.
Yes, exactly. It could be. I mean, as I say, Kim Hellberg has used 3 centre-halves at times this season.
Yeah.
At other times he's used 2. Sometimes he's played Luke Ayling as a right-sided centre-half of a 3. Sometimes he's played him as an orthodox right-back. You know, there's all sorts of... I mean, there are quite a number of ways that Middlesbrough could set up this afternoon, defensively speaking. But, yeah, if you're a good footballer, you can work something out within seconds of being on the pitch. You'll know this, Cass.
Yeah.
And you're proactive and you act upon it. And, you know, if you need to be spoon-fed as a footballer by means such as these that have been alleged, well, that's calling into question your ability as a footballer to work things out.
Yeah.
And also, you'd have seen enough of them during the course of a season to know, well, they play like this is how they go about their business. And if they play in this fashion with a different formation, they look to this way to try and take
let's not forget, Cass, that Borough absolutely walloped Southampton at the Riverside back in January. It was 4-0. So Tonda Eckert had been there for a while, and Southampton were improving, but they got a proper tatering that day on Teesside. So that should be enough good feeling within the within the Middlesbrough camp. They can get the job done. So maybe I don't know whether that's prompted what's been alleged, but Southampton certainly have got to give a far better account of themselves today than they did in January up there, because they got their backsides handed to them that afternoon.
League One, 2 games today. You're at one of them, Dance.
Yes, I'm off to the Tough Sheet later.
Excuse me?
Yes, hopefully people listening on AM will have understood me there. The Tough Sheet Community Stadium, home of Bolton Wanderers. So it's a War of the Roses, Bolton against Bradford. I'll tell you what, Shebahn, the great thing about the playoffs, particularly in League One and League Two, is that there is no way that if the team finishing in the lowest position in the playoffs get promoted, you won't necessarily find the others going, oh, we were so far ahead of them, they don't deserve to go up, because there was only 2 points separating the 4 teams in the League One playoffs and 3 points separating the 4 teams in the League Two playoffs. So many of these semi-finals, whether it's Stevenage Stockport earlier this, which is on talkSPORT 2 at 3:00 today, or whether it's Bolton Bradford that I'm there tonight at 8 on talkSPORT 2, they're coin flips, absolute coin flips. Stevenage is one of these stories of the season because Alex Ravel and his team, they were favourites for relegation. And they've got their way to the playoffs. If you look at their record, 49 goals scored. Only the relegated sides have scored fewer than Stevenage. And yet there they are. They've won games by a goal to nil so often. They've drawn games 0-0. And there they are finding themselves in that top 6 and up against the Stockport side. And here's another great stat. I think Dave Challoner, 12 seasons as Stockport manager, has never failed to finish either in an automatic promotion place or a playoff place in the division he's been managing in. That is an extraordinary record.
Well, listen, there's so much to look forward to. Ian Danter will hear you later on tonight. Then our EFL expert. Have a great day.
Cheers, Dance. Bye-bye.
Take care of yourself, Dance. All part of our coverage. Dance will be watching Bolton Bradford talkSPORT 2. Later on tonight, Stevenage Stockport is at 3:00, and then 12:30, Middlesbrough Southampton, the playoff first leg from the Champ, is also on talkSPORT 2. Coming up next, put your feet up, stick the kettle on first. Cappuccino with Cascarino is on the way next on talkSPORT. Content creator and Palace fan Ollie Thomas is with us this morning. A very good morning to you, Ollie. How are you?
Morning, Ollie.
Morning. I am. I'm good. I'm a bit tired, as you can imagine, but I'm good. And thanks, Dean. You're right. We are the best fans in the world.
It's debatable. It's debatable, Ollie. I'm joking. I have a soft spot for Palace. My sister plays for Palace. They just got promoted, and yeah, I mean, fair play to them. Your manager. I mean, the fact that he is leaving and he might win a third trophy before he goes is crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's obviously sad that he's going, but I think it could have turned a bit sour and did turn a bit sour at the start of the calendar year. And fair play to Steve Parish, who held his own and didn't sack him. And it's now kind of become a nice send-off. And I think everyone wants to win it for Glasner as well, rather than it being like a bitter goodbye, I suppose. I think we've channeled that departure really well. And yeah, I'm feeling confident. It's weird watching a Palace team that just repeatedly turns up in big games. Like, I'm just not used to it. Every single big game we've basically ever had under Glasner, we've turned up, played really well. So hopefully we can do it one more time.
Why do you think he's leaving the club? I'm trying to work it out myself. Because he must realise that
wasn't guaranteed. I mean, they got rid of the best players and they didn't replace them. And he'd won trophies, and they still hadn't got that right. Would that be it, Ollie? Would you think he was frustrated with how the club has been run?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he basically did exactly the same thing when he was at Wolfsburg and Frankfurt. Like, the timelines are very similar in terms of he comes to a club, starts really well, does really well, and then falls out with the board. And he's been obviously very open about the fact that he didn't think we should have sold Eze, didn't think we should have sold Gahey, or at least when we sold them.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you got us feeling all right.
Good choice, Cass.
Yeah. Piano Man, Billy Joel. I think it's his best. It's really an anthem for America as well, you know, that when he plays it in front of an audience, especially if he's in New York, or they just go crazy for it.
Yeah, it's a great song, actually. And then he replays his little...
Yeah.
Sorry, I spoiled it for everyone.
I Love You Just the Way You Are. Do you remember that song as well?
I don't think I know that one.
No, that's going to have a classic.
Always a Woman to Me was...
Yeah, that's a classic.
Great song.
Yeah.
More Billy Joel coming up on the show today. Joel Joel. Oh, Joel Joel. Joe. 77 years old today. Happy birthday, Billy.
Remember his wife? Christina
Brinkley.
Yeah. She was stunning, wasn't she?
She was Uptown Girl, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was in the song Uptown. She was in the video.
That's it. And then when Westlife remade Uptown Ghetto. It was Claudia Schiffer, wasn't it?
Right.
It was Uptown Ghetto.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
In fact,
I forgot all about that.
my friend was named after Christy Brinkley.
Oh.
Her name's Christy.
Did she live up to Chris?
Yes, happy birthday, Billy Joe. Lovely stuff. More of that coming up on the show today. If you fancy the tunes, swipe across to Virgin Radio. Don't forget the legend himself, Chris Evans, is back 6:30 on Monday morning. And don't forget, you can watch back TFI as well. Unplugged with Chris Evans and his wonderful guests. Don't forget the latest episode of 21 Minutes to Go with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy is out now. This week, the tales of an untrustworthy cow. And we hear a story that demonstrates just how terrible Goldstein's memory really is. By the way, it's awful. It's awful.
Yeah.
Goldstein's memory.
Oh, is it really? I thought he'd had a good memory.
It's awful. It's the worst I've ever come across. It's terrible. Or he's just not listening. Maybe that.
Well, probably not listening.
A little bit of that, yeah. 21 Minutes to Go with Andy Goldstein and Jason Cundy, wherever you get your podcasts. You can have a listen to that. It's really good fun. And don't forget, Andy Goldstein doing breakfast next week from Tuesday through to Friday with Gabrielle
Right.
Bonlahar. Will he remember to set his alarm? You will find out on Tuesday. Right, it's time now for this.
A cappuccino with Cascarino on the weekend sports breakfast. I say.
Oh, it's posh coffee time. So many of you out doing that already this morning at a nice wee coffee shop, getting a good old brew. This is when I'm going to sit back and let Cass take it away in a story time, please.
Yeah, I was interested with the Kylian Mbappe story earlier on, and just the dealing with these geniuses that can be brilliant, can also be issues, be problems. And it took me back to Eric Cantona in France. And I played, as I mentioned earlier, I played with Joey's brother. And Eric had a rap sheet as long as your arm in France. He was chased out of France. He really was. He didn't play 100 appearances for any club in France. He was at Marseille. And typical Eric, he's playing in a game against Torpedo Moscow. And he decides to kick the ball at the crowd, which is not a good idea. Then he gets subs and he rips off his shirt and throws it at the bench as he comes off. That was Eric. I played it with him in a testimonial game, and he turned up with no boots. It's after he'd finished playing, but he turned up with no boots and just said to me, "Have you got a pair of boots?" And I was a different size to him. I said I'm a size 11, Eric, and he went, "Oh no, too big." And he didn't come with any boots. Played the game, played well, and just did what Eric did. But then he had his other controversies in France as well. If you take his time at Montpellier, he went there and he ended up having an argument. He threw boots at another player's face, got banned. He went to Nîmes. Likewise, he had an instance on the pitch with a ref and threw the ball at the ref. Then goes to the commission up in at the French Federation up in Paris. I'd know because I was there as well. I got taken there a couple of times, and Eric was there. And typical Eric, he's ended up explaining his situation, so he gets summoned up to the French Federation for the ball incident, throwing it at the ref. And one by one, he dismantled the members and called them all idiots individually, then got a ban again. And that was really the end of Eric in France, the sort of Nîmes experience. But he played 16 games for Nîmes, 40 for Marseille. Now, you think 40 for Marseille, that's a short period of time.
Yeah.
He played under France Beckenbauer. He played under Gérard Gilly, who was a top coach in France, who I played under. And he didn't get on with really anybody, Eric. But you had to manage him. And so he comes to England for literally a short period of time. There was a £900,000 fee, but they had to pay $100,000 up front, Leeds United. And I played against him when he was at Leeds. By the way, talk about someone hit the ground running. He literally did at Leeds United. And they agreed to pay $900,000 for him, which they did, and eventually sold him on to Manchester United. But Eric was unmanageable for many, many managers. They just couldn't give time and day. It fell out with the French Federation, international football. He got banned for a year at one particular time from playing for the international team. Again, insulting the coach at the particular time. Eric did this. I think it was Henri Michel, I think, was the coach of the French team at the time. But he was so controversial. But then he goes to Manchester United. And one of the genius things about Sir Alex Ferguson was that with all these stars, now he would play hardball with 90% of them. he knew that wouldn't work with Eric. He had to manage in a different way. That's being smart. That's just being really smart of going. And other players might have got upset by it and spoke out about, well, how does Eric get this special treatment? He wears what he likes when he comes into the training ground, or he's on an ambassador role for the club, and it's Eric. All this sort of time. But there's nothing wrong with that. If he delivers, and which he did, I mean, I played my last game in England was the FA Cup final of '94. They won 4-0, Man United. Eric got 2. You know, that Eric was that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. If you're a really, really good manager, your team will do well. But if you can manage individuals, you know, and not just treat every 25, because no one's like that. 25 people cannot be the same. You know,
well, look, Didier Deschamps managed to do it with him in the World Cup duty, but he's had issues further down the line. In 2018, he was a young man, Mbappe, when he came onto the scene. He's an enigma. He's an incredible footballer, but you have to manage him.
I agree.
It's not about, you know, he's not towing the line, or some players don't. But if your team are winning and are successful, the team don't care.
Yeah, and I think if you're the character who can identify that and manage it,
they don't care.
Yeah, brilliant.
If we're successful together, it's great. No player will moan about that. It's the day you fail. Once you fail and you're not delivering, people will question, why is he here? Why is he getting away with that?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that was a nice little insight.
So it was a bit about Eric and his crazy time in France, because it's been documented. But I played with players that played with Eric, and they all sort of gave you the look in the eye, say, be careful, because Eric can just kick off at any time.
Still nobody like him. You love to hear it. Cass, that was good. Thank you very much. Coming up for you, we're going to discuss the teams who can make the Champions League next season. If the 6th spot opens up, that's Bournemouth. They travel to Fulham today. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more.
To join Arsenal was the biggest achievement in my career, but the way the things end up was a little bit not nasty. But at the end of the day, I'm happy. They are happy. They know, you know what, life goes on. If you ask me if I regret, I don't regret. But I'm happy also giving them something back, because at the end of the day, if I can't represent and defend my parents, I don't know who will do it for me. So it's kind of doing my job.
You're spot on, Emmanuel. I don't blame you at all. I would have done the same, mate.
Thank you.
Looking at the title race, Manchester City messing up against Everton. How do you think it's going to go? Who do you think will win it in the end?
Who do I think will win it? If you ask me today, I will still tell you that I think Man City will win it, but I would like Arsenal to win it, because it has been over a decade. They have been fighting for that even when I was there. We were fighting for it. Obviously, in April, then sometime in March and April, it's all over. And we drop points at Wigan, at Bolton, wherever you can call it. Then we saw the league sliding out of our hand. But this year, they're doing quite well. And the good thing is that defensively, they are very good. But now they have to win the last 3 games to win the league. And obviously, Man City, again, dropping points at Everton. They will come back stronger. They will manage with their manager, with the players, with the experienced team they had. They will do everything possible to win the last 3 games and wait for Arsenal to drop points so they can be champion. But trust me, it's not going to be an easy task for both of them. Let's see who win. But I wish, for the first time, I wish Arsenal wins it, because they have been working towards this for so long time.
What year?
Oh, hell.
81, 82?
Yeah, I thought you were.
Oh, well, I'm
quizzing me.
guessing. What, 81 or 82?
I'm going to go with you, yeah. 83. I'm going to go say 83.
I don't know. I just think early 80s.
Oh, it's 83!
Oh, is
Get 10!
Is it 83?
Yeah.
Oh. Just say, I know it was early 80s.
I won. I won, everybody. I won.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. Shebahn Aherne, former Millwall and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino. I'm the Uptown girl, you're my backstreet guy. Some of your headlines this morning. Hull and Millwall drew 0-0 in the first leg of the Championship playoff semi-final. Live on talkSPORT last night. Second leg is on Monday. The second semi, Middlesbrough versus Southampton, is 12:30 today on talkSPORT 2. talkSPORT understands Atletico Madrid are close to agreeing a deal for Wolves midfielder João Gomez. And talkSPORT has something different for you on the YouTube channel this weekend. A bit of ping pong.
Ping pong?
Ping pong. Yeah,
Table tennis.
Yeah. Here's the president of the International Table Tennis Federation to tell us a bit more.
Good morning, Weekend Breakfast. I'm Petra Solning, president of the International Table Tennis Federation. This weekend is the finals of the World Team Table Tennis Championships 2026 here in London, Wembley. You can follow it on talkSPORT YouTube channel.
Petra, thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. Are you any good at that?
I played it. quite a bit. I was always good at just getting it back over the table. Just getting it back. I'm really boring.
I can never hit the other side of the table. I always hit the tile floor when I'm on my holiday. Yeah. It bounces out of.
I've played quite a lot of table tennis. Pool. Enjoyed it. It's good fun.
It's great.
Good. Have you ever seen the video of the robot playing against?
No. I'll have a look there. But that's live on the talkSPORT YouTube channel. The Table Tennis World Championship semi and final this weekend. talkSPORT YouTube channel. Let's discuss Bournemouth, who head to Craven Cottage today to face Fulham. The Cherries sit 6th in the Premier League due to Aston Villa reaching the Europa League final against Freiburg. As many as 9 English teams could play in Europe next season. Despite putting themselves in a strong position for Europe, Cherries boss Andoni Iraola says he's not getting carried away.
I think we are in a good place. We are in the fight. We are doing good things. We are playing well. And even if we have probably one of the toughest schedules, I trust my team because they show me that they are able to play a good game against any opposition.
Yeah, so Villa finished 5th. The Champions League spot will open up for 6th place as well, which is where Bournemouth are sitting. That's if Villa win the Europa League final. Ahead of the trip to Fulham, we can speak to a man who played over 300 times for Bournemouth. Good morning to the foodie footballer, Mark Pugh. Morning, Mark.
Hiya, Mark.
Good morning, Shebahn, Tony. How are you?
Yeah, we're good.
Great. How are you?
Yeah, really well, thank you. Can't complain.
Mark, I've got to ask you because I went to a game, and I've said this a few times on talkSPORT this year, is that I went to a game against Crystal Palace, and when they drew 3-3, and for an hour, Bournemouth went 2-0 up, and they were unbelievably good. I couldn't believe what I was watching for 60 minutes. And then the game ended, got a bit topsy-turvy, and it ended up 3-3. And then I look at Bournemouth this year, in this calendar year, their last home defeat was against Arsenal in literally the early first week of Jan.
It's been frightening. I mean, we were discussing, I think it was around November time, that the Bournemouth nailed on to getting the Champions League this year, the way they were playing. And then they had a really tricky spell where they were conceding goals in and around Christmas. And like you say, since the turn of the year, they just look absolutely brilliant. I did the commentary for the Burnley game, which was an absolute dire affair. It was 0-0. But other than that, they've unbeaten in the last 5, looking really good, playing some cracking football going forward, and they look strong at the back as well, so they're ticking all the boxes as a team at the minute.
Yeah, they are, and an absolute joy to watch. I mean, you could name 5 or 6 players, and the youth in the team as well. There's a talk of Krupi could be going off to one of the leading Premier League clubs, or one of the so-called Big 6 in England, and maybe even to Spain. It's just they're relentless also in their recruitment.
Yeah, the recruitment's been unbelievable. I mean, you look early on in the season, they lost Kirkes, Hudson, lost some big players, especially 3 out of the back 4. And to replace them and bring the lads in, and Trufair's done amazing. I've watched Scott a few times this year, and his quality is really elegant on the ball. He's very similar to Jack Grealish when he was at Aston Villa playing in midfield. So, yeah, got some real talent there.
I mean, today is, there's no easy game. I suppose. How do you see then this one going? I mean, the fact that could be European football for you, do you feel that they're ready for that?
There'll be a lot of pressure on it, but I mean, with the new training facilities, expansion of the stadium, and I think they've got everything they need. Areola leaving's a bit of a kick in the teeth, really, because he's done an amazing job since Eddie left as well. Big shoes to fill, and yeah, Fulham's going to be a tough one. The really tough place to go. Last time I played there, we beat them 5-1, like in the Championship. So that seems a long time ago, but I don't think it's going to be that affair today. Fulham are a good team, and they're going to be robust and difficult to beat.
Yeah, I look at them and I just go, Bournemouth can beat you, but also, do you know what? They got 16 draws in the Premier League. That just tells you how tough they are to beat as well.
Yeah, 16 draws is a lot. And you look at the goals scored and goals against, 55 goals scored, 52 goals against. So it's going to be a tight game. And you look at it as well. I know Liverpool aren't going to lose 2 games, I don't think, out of the last 3, but they can actually reach the top 4, which is mad to think at this time of season.
Yeah, I mean, how mad is that, Mark? Like, what would it mean to see the club that you played for 300 times in the Champions League?
Absolutely incredible. I mean, just for the fans as well. The fans, looking back, 15 years ago, they were putting their hands in the pockets to keep the club alive. So to see them fighting it out at the top of the Premier League now is absolutely amazing. And as a fan, you just want them to, give it one last push now and, forget about. There's no pressure on Bournemouth. They can go into every game and, just play with freedom. And whatever happens now, if they lost the last 3 games, they've had an incredible season.
So tell us, Mark, the manager, and as well, you give him absolute full praise because his team have kept going. He said he's not signing a new deal, so they're looking for obviously another candidate as a manager to come in. But he still managed to continue to get results with his team and keep the same desire and motivation up.
Yeah, it's testament to his character. He's obviously got the players buy-in. I think that's key. I think he's got a dressing room full of great lads. I think first and foremost, Bournemouth recruitment, they do a lot of due diligence on the characters they bring into the football club. And if you've got 1 or 2 negative attitudes within the squad, then it's infectious. But it looks like he's got a dressing room full of positive people who are pushing in the same direction. And if you've got that, I mean, we had it when we got promoted to the Premier League. Even the lads not playing, if they're out there supporting the lads on the field, then it makes a hell of a difference. And he seems to have got that balance spot on.
Yeah, I always say Bournemouth are on the beach, but they never are actually in the playing field. They always give absolutely everything. They're such a fast team. I mean, I give them so much praise, but honestly, if you think of last summer, who they lost and the type of players they lost, they've replaced them and they've got a better team.
Yeah, it's mad. And there's 3 teams that I love watching this season. You might correct me if I'm wrong, but I love watching Bournemouth, Newcastle, Brentford because you never know what's going to happen. It's, counter-attacking football, really intense, quick. They give it all every single game. And, I'm not saying none of the other teams do, but it always leads to a really eventful game.
Yeah. And how's things going with you then, Mark? I mean, the foodie footballer all over social media. I like your content. What you making? What can I cook tonight? I need to up my carbs, apparently.
You need to cut down on your carbs.
No, I need to up the carbs.
You need to up down on your carbs. You're training heavy at the minute, aren't you? Training well.
I was telling Cass I had this blood test done, and I was telling Sam as well.
I didn't find any blood.
Yeah, I did. But basically, I was saying because we're up so early in the morning, like I'm not getting enough carbs as well. So
yeah, so without getting too sciencey, you don't want to be eating below your BMI, your basal metabolic rate. So you need to be consuming the right carbs up. A lot of people think, I need to be consuming carbs. It's your pastas, your rices, your breads. No, you can get your carbohydrates from your fruit, your sweet potato, your vegetables. Just making sure you're eating whole foods, really, and avoiding your ultra-processed foods, because I know you've been prone to that, haven't you?
I know. I love McDonald's. Oh, we love it. That's what I was thinking about today. I thought carbs. Well, maybe we could get a sausage and egg McMuffin.
Well, Mark's not here. Mark's not here to say you can in once in a blue moon.
Yeah.
Which most people say.
Everything in
I think Mark's going to go, not at all, ever.
Avoid it. I haven't had a Mackie D's or a Burger King KFC for about 13, 14 years now. I know what's in them, so I don't bother.
So do you believe what's in them? Like, is this You know, I don't know if you've seen this all on TikTok. Apparently, what's in like the nuggets and stuff.
Oh, it's mad. It's mad. Sprayed with all sorts. And the problem is, when you eat it, it causes inflammation in your body because, you know, it's so processed. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. You're best sticking with foods that your body knows how to digest, and that's going to help you thrive as well.
Oh, it just tastes so good. I know, it just tastes great.
It's made to be addictive.
I know,
that's the issue.
It's a bit like chocolate, isn't it? The chocolate, the way it's been made in recent years, it's become way more addictive chocolate.
Chinese food's so addictive, isn't it? Like, you want more of that.
We're hammering everything
Makes you
here.
feel terrible, though.
Are we sponsored by any of these, by the way?
No, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. And we're speaking positively about it anyway. Mark's trying to convince us otherwise, which he probably will in time. See, if there was like a big healthy food plate sitting here, I would eat that. But I know it's quicker to get fast food, and then I know I'll smash it.
Let me ask, Mark, what is out there that is some people think is bad, but it's actually not too bad? So we can be naughty to a little bit of a degree.
Yeah, so if you're eating out, you're best going for like a spicy curry, because there's loads of spices in there that give you loads of health benefits. Your turmeric of the world, cumin, coriander, the really powerful spices. So Indian, you can go get a grilled kebab, for example, as long as it's not your doner meat. I don't know where that comes from. It could be camel for all I know. Just grilled chicken. Nando's is fantastic.
Love Nando's.
There's some good options at Nando's. So you can make better choices. It's just being mindful with it.
All right. You're in the back of my head now, Mark, so make good choices. Lovely to talk to you today. Good luck to Bournemouth, and thanks for coming on.
Cheers, Mark.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Take care. Bye-bye.
All the best. Former Bournemouth player. The Foodie Footballer on Instagram. If you want some tips as well, go and see Mark Pugh on Instagram. You're listening to The Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more. By the way, Cass and I both have turkey teeth, so that's the thing about eating curries. Got a big
no
yellow.
one knows that.
Oh, come off it. Big yellow gub. Coming up next, we'll turn our attention to Hearts' quest to win the Scottish Premiership title that could be wrapped up this weekend. Morning.
Let's not worry about other teams. I'm sorry, West Ham, not our problem. Okay, you lost 3-0 to Brentford. You've got 3 games. Go and beat Arsenal on the weekend. Do it yourself. Aston Villa, worry about Aston Villa. And the players, they took it easy. My daughter was there in the Holton. She's like, Dad, why is everyone walking? It was walking football from Aston Villa. But then when you see a performance like that, where they've put in 100% every player, you don't care about that. Up the Villa!
Up the Villa!
Up the Villa! Istanbul!
Do you want the Ange mask? Put the Ange mask on.
Gary's putting the Ange mask on. Up the Villa! Up the Villa! Up the European Villa! Istanbul! Istanbul! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Boys,
do as anyone see. Do as anyone see.
Yeah,
Go on, Gary. Let's set it up for Gary.
Sorry. Has anyone seen Maximus Scott? Where are you, Max? We need some news. Robin Hood, the Prince of Thieves, Sherwood Forest, Friar Tuck. Where are you, Friar? The original boots chemist. Hooters. Is Hooters closed? I used to open Hooters. Close Hooters. Shut it down. Matt Ford, do us a favour, mate. Stuart Broad, where are you? Chris Wokes, better player. Where are you? Tricky Trees. Rock City, HB Sauce, where are you? Notts, Forest.
And Big Age Masters killed me. The Big Age Masters killed me.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it. Hello there, good morning. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. We're on your smart TV, we're on the YouTube channel as well. If you want to come watch along in the studio, it's myself, Shebahn Aherne, and former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino. In your headlines, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has told his players and fans to stay present and live in the moment as the club prepare for a huge month, which could secure them the Premier League and the Champions League. Arsenal travel to West Ham tomorrow. That's a huge game for both. Man City striker Khadija Shaw, also known as Bunny, has won the Footballers Writers Association Women's Football of the Year award. Bruno Fernandes won the men's. And it's been a big week over on talkSPORT.com with the latest. Here's Sean O'Brien.
What's happening on talkSPORT.com, but let's start in the National League, where Lee Cattermole is set for his first managerial job. It's being reported the former Premier League midfielder has agreed a deal with Hartlepool to become their new boss. Elsewhere, find out who thinks Phil Foden should join Coventry this summer and who reckons Nottingham Forest were dealt a bit of karma by getting booted out of the Europa League. That's all over on talkSPORT.com.
Cheers, Sean. Appreciate it. By the way, the talkSPORT Daily podcast is available now. It's Sam Ellard with former Rangers and Liverpool midfielder Charlie Adam to discuss the Scottish football title race. It's all kicking off. Here's Charlie on how big this is for the Scottish League.
If you're asking any Rangers fan, who do you want to win the league? Every one of them will be saying Hearts. So this is massive for Scottish football. This is the changing sort of dynamic of Scottish football. The Old Firm have dominated for so long. They've had the best budgets. They've had the best players. They've dominated for so long. So to have a club like Hearts, who are a big club in terms of fan base and, you know, what it has, but to split the Old Firm, I said at the start of the season, there's no way it could happen. No way it could happen, because history tells you that the Old Firm have dominated for so long. But combinations of good organisation and a good team with a good manager and some good players has really helped Hearts' levels, and ultimately, again, the both Old Firm teams playing at the level that they've played at has been unacceptable for the standards they expect from them as a football club. So no, there's a lot of combinations, but Derek has done a wonderful job with players that we didn't really know about, and to transform them to a level where we always probably thought they might have fell away, but they've always been there. And when they've actually had that sort of punch in the nose as they do, they've reacted in the right way, and that's what title challengers and what champions normally do.
That's Charlie Adam there. All of that in the talkSPORT Daily podcast. You can listen to it now on the talkSPORT app. It's just wild up there, and we absolutely love it. And then as a Celtic fan, it's so squeaky bum time at the same time.
Well, next 24 hours.
Well, so Hearts go to Motherwell today.
Yeah.
Motherwell have been brilliant all season as well. Celtic then play Rangers tomorrow in the Old Firm. So actually it could, I think, mathematically be wrapped up this weekend, and then all teams play again on Wednesday. Let's look ahead to this one. Former Hearts defender Christoph Berra is with us now this morning. Hi Christoph, thanks for coming on. How are you keeping?
Hi Christoph.
Morning, yeah, I'm good. I'm very well, thank you. How are you doing?
Yeah, we're good. Christoph, tell us first of all about your reaction from last weekend in the turnaround against Rangers, because it stood out, the character of this Hearts team.
Yeah, they've been amazing. I think the last 3 games, they've been behind the games and they've just showed great character. That just shows you how, I said before, they've got a good squad, they're recruited well, but you need them to go out and play for you, and the manager's done that. But in that particular game, Rangers were comfortable first half. First half without really creating anything, though. They're happy just passing it about. Maybe tried to break the lines a few times, but in the second half, Hearts slightly changed their system, but they just ran all over the top of them, really. showed more desire, more character, and Rangers had no answers.
Yeah, well, look, the modern game, and we've seen it in European football as well this week, and the very best of PSG, and you look at even what Arsenal as well, making the final. These teams that all 11 have to buy into, and that's what I see at Hearts, that all 11 of the Hearts players will chase and literally blood, sweat and tears for their team.
Yeah, 100%. I think I said it just there. It's okay talking about tactics and the way you want to play and all the details, but if you can't get the players to go out there and run through a brick wall for you've got no chance. And the manager, Derek, he's really galvanised that squad. There's been a few changes in personnel. The majority of them have hit the ground running. But again, it comes down to the manager, the coaching staff, getting those players to go out there and give 110% every week.
How shocked have you been, Christoph, at the Old Firm sides this season?
Yeah, it's if I'm being honest, they're nowhere near the standard they have been. Celtic, nowhere near the standard they've been under Ange, under Brendan, his previous tenure, his first tenure at Celtic, and then Rangers. I know Rangers have went through a big rebuild, obviously, when things went wrong, but they're not the team they were under Gerrard, and they're not the team that they were previous to that. Back in the day when they had some outstanding players, and now they've got good players, but they're all potential. There's no, I would say, steady Eddies, big characters who are tried and trusted. They've got a lot of youngsters that they're hoping that they can produce, and Rangers are not used to that in the past. They're used to bringing established players in who can, look at Barry Ferguson, control the game, has got that swagger. They don't have anyone like that just now.
No. Christoph, tell us, without getting ahead of ourselves and going, this season hasn't ended yet and what Hearts can achieve over Rangers and Celtic, but do you think Hearts will be around next year under the Bloom idea of recruitment and how successful that would be? Do you think that will stay?
I think obviously there's going to be expectations. If we do, and hopefully we will go and win the league, and none of those players will have experienced that expectation to produce. Also, teams will maybe be better prepared. Not they don't show you respect, but you're there to be knocked off. Celtic and Rangers will probably have the bit between their teeth. I think Rangers are they're making steady progress. Obviously they dropped off the last couple of games. I think Celtic, they're still up there. They've not been convincing though. They've probably scraped by. I think the manager knows that himself. And even they've got 3 games left. I think there is a bigger rebuild within Celtic, not just in the squad, but there's obviously things that have happened outside the playing staff. So I think that could be a longer term. But again, if they get the right manager in and the players buy into it, they have got talent there.
Yeah, it's so exciting all the same, Christoph. People who don't usually talk about Scottish football are so invested in this title race as well. Listen, thanks for coming on with us this morning. Good luck to you today, all right?
Thank you.
Cheers, Christoph.
Good to see you. Christoph Berra there, former Hearts defender. I have to say, Motherwell been brilliant this season as well. So we'll see what happens today. Hearts going to Motherwell.
It's a tough game tonight for Hearts.
If Hearts win today, and I'm not going to say out loud, if that happens tomorrow, then Hearts will win it this weekend. That'll be it, right? That'll be it. If what I don't want to happen tomorrow happened. Anyway, you're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT. In the next hour, we'll continue our Premier League previews and discuss Brighton.
the performances that you've seen from Chelsea. I mean, the Brighton game.
You can't defend what Chelsea have done.
Why have they
given
Caicedo an extra year?
You cannot defend what Chelsea have done. There is nothing positive to say about the way the club has behaved and the club has been run, the club have played this season. There is nothing positive.
You can have 3 or 4 maybe that you see in a team that are not doing it, but There's so many games this season. I've seen Chelsea players. Every single player is not running around.
Yeah.
Every single player is not trying.
Gabby,
every single
the
player is not
statistics are
tracking
clear.
back.
They have been outrun in every single Premier League game. After 10 games, the alarm bells should be ringing.
And in fairness, you can moan about the way the club is run. You can moan about the model. You can moan about the revolving door of managers, which we were told, by the way, when they hired Graham Potter, they weren't going to be that club anymore. They've got worse. But there still has to be individual responsibility. There still has to be professional pride. And there isn't in that dressing room.
You got Fofana getting taken off in a recent game.
Well,
and he's throwing his toys
I
out
have
the
to
pram,
say,
like,
I have to say,
he's garbage.
There is, he's got a history of falling out with everybody.
Incredible,
Bad
isn't it?
signing. What? You know, signed him
Who signed
off the
him?
back of a long-term
money.
injury, and guess what happened? He got injured.
He didn't play for nearly 2
Who
years.
could have seen that coming?
But even look at all Chelsea's centre-half options. Listen, Chalobah, decent player, not at the level where Chelsea want to get to. Badiashile, not good enough. The Sassy, who's at West Ham on loan, not good enough.
He's
Fofana,
actually
not
played
good
quite
enough.
well for West Ham.
I know,
by the
but
way.
where Chelsea want to get to, all of those centre-halves, you're looking at it and saying, that's not a back line.
Especially
or
when you spent
goalkeeper.
2.5 billion
Exactly.
quid.
How much do all those players
Well, they
cost?
signed a goalkeeper in Robert Sanchez, who Brighton made no real effort to keep.
Knuckleball free kicks. They used to be all the rage, but when was the last time you saw someone score with one? We're going to take a look at why we're not really seeing them anymore and also explain a bit more about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s, probably because that Ronaldo strike in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do? Top corner, top bins.
The name knuckleball comes from a baseball pitch held with the knuckles rather than the fingertips, which doesn't spin as it travels. Now, no ball is a perfect sphere, so as it travels, it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Brazilian free-kick specialist Juninho Pernambucano wasn't the first player to do it, but he did perfect it, scoring 77 free kicks over his career, more than anyone else. He was inspired by 90s midfielder Marcelinho Carioca and a guy called Didi, who was hitting knuckleballs in the 50s and 60s. Brazilians call it the dry leaf, because the ball looks like a leaf that gets blown around in the wind this way and that. So how do you do it? The key point is to hit the ball head on, usually with a straighter run-up. It's a punch-like shot and, crucially, as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Some people think players hit the valve to affect the air inside the ball. That's not the reason. It's because the part of the ball around the valve is more rigid, helping to shorten that contact time. Remember the David Luiz beauty against Colombia in the 2014 World Cup? We don't really see knuckleballs anymore. Why? Because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season, there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. In 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, by its very nature, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
Morning, you're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne. Former Millwall and Chelsea striker Tony Cascarino is here.
Good morning.
Last year's Premier League champions Liverpool can all but secure a top 5 finish with victory over Chelsea this afternoon. Ahead of this one, Reds boss Arne Slot simply says that qualifying for Champions League won't make this season a success.
I think the season has been gone in a way that even if we have 3 wins and 3 very positive results, I don't think everyone will still be positive about how we ended the season, how the season has been. It's important that we get that at least 1 win over the line, which we think is enough to qualify.
Arne Slot there. The game is live and exclusive here on talkSPORT. 12:30 kick-off this afternoon, and the Championship playoffs are up and running. Middlesbrough host Southampton in the semi-final first leg at the Riverside Stadium. But the real story has to be Spygate. Southampton charged by the EFL for allegedly spying on their playoff opponents. On the Sports Bar Weekender, Toby, the Saints fan, said he's disgusted.
I'm disgraced by the club, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking. I'm going up there tomorrow. I'm leaving at 6 in the morning. It is an absolute disgrace.
That one's going to be live and exclusive talkSPORT 2 today. 12:30 kick-off there as well. And Man City host Brentford this afternoon, looking to close their 5-point gap to league leaders Arsenal. Ahead of their must-win game, City boss Pep Guardiola says they can't afford any further slip-ups in the Premier League title race.
I love to play at home, what can I say? So hopefully they can come and, put pressure on our Arsenal winning our games. We try to win, let's leave 2 points behind them and see what happens.
The updates at 5:30 on the GameDay phone-in. It's the Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. Good morning to you. Oh, big day ahead. Playoffs in full spin. People are spying in the bushes. It's all kicking off. And then tonight, there's a huge all-English heavyweight clash between Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois. Wardley puts his WBO title on the line in Manchester, and we have it live on talkSPORT.
Anyone can take anyone out with a single punch. Man of the people, I'm a champion, people's champion.
This has all the potential to be one of the best heavyweight fights we've seen on these shores for a long time.
Probably Lennox Lewis and Frank Bruno. Arguably the best fight since then.
The title of this, Don't Blink, is absolutely perfect.
We're all going to have an opinion, but none of us really know.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Tremendous right-hand counter. Do not blink because you're going to be on the edge of your seat.
This is massive tonight. A Battle of Britain in the ring. 40 knockouts between them. 42 combined wins as well. Wardley versus Dubois. It's going to be live for you on talkSPORT Fight Night tonight. We're really looking forward to this. You're having a wee watch-along party with yourself, aren't you, Cass?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a real proper matchup.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get these sort of fights, similar age. Well, Dubois slightly younger, 28. Obviously, Wardley is 31. Yep. Similar size, 6'5", the pair of them. Records are not much too dissimilar. So there's a lot to look forward to. The amount of rounds they've had in fights. I mean, I did look earlier, and Joseph Parker was the last person that Fabio Wardley fought. And then you look at Usyk was for Dubois. So, tough fighters. Yeah, both had last tough fights.
The amount of pundits and experts saying we just can't call this one. It's going to be huge. Heavyweight boxing season on DAZN tonight. Fabio Wardley makes his first defence of his WBO heavyweight title against former IBF champion Daniel Dubois. It's in Manchester, live on talkSPORT. Then 23rd of May, it's Glory in Giza as Usyk faces Dutch kickboxing legend Rico Verhoeven, and that's the WBC heavyweight title up for grabs in that one. Join DAZN Unlimited now. Get 12 plus pay-per-views a year, including Wardley versus Dubois and Usyk versus Rico at no extra cost with our friends on DAZN.
Boxing update on talkSPORT with DAZN, the global home of boxing. Sign up now at dazn.com/boxing.
So today, Brighton host Wolves at the Amex, looking to cement their place in the European places. The Seagulls riding on a high following a massive week for the club. Their manager Fabian Hertzler signed a new long-term contract till 2029. Looking ahead to this one with us, former Brighton striker Craig McHale-Smith is with us. Good morning, Craig.
Hiya, Craig.
Morning.
Are you good? I remember watching you at Dagenham, and Johnny Steele, who had you a couple of times, I think, didn't he, in his career?
Yeah, Dagenham, and then he had me at Luton. Yeah, a few years back now.
Yeah, you make me feel old, Craig. So tell us about the Brighton of today, then, because it's been a strange season because there was periods where Ursula was just under a bit of pressure, but they've come out of it and gone through, and now look like a really good team again.
Yeah, it's been a strange season, as you said. They've probably were underperforming early on in the season, and there was a kind of a lot of pressure on the manager. And now, kind of towards the back end, they've kind of picked up some fantastic results over the last few months, and they've kind of had that momentum, and they're riding that. And obviously, they're within touching distance of the European places.
Yeah, and no better game from today, a home game against Wolves. And, look at Mincer, Matoma. I think they're wingers that, when they do get it right, Brighton, they're the type of players that can make the difference.
Yeah, they've got fantastic players out wide. They've obviously caused a lot of trouble. They've obviously got great experience in Welbeck down the middle when he plays. So I think they should go out. Obviously, Wolves have had a tough season, and it's kind of over for them. So Brighton have got everything to play for, and hopefully they kind of get an early goal, and then they just put the foot to the throttle and get the result.
Craig, what have you made of Danny Welbeck? Because we all look at senior pros and look at them and go, look, still got a lot to offer. But boy, he's repaid Brighton big style, hasn't he?
He's been amazing. He's been absolutely amazing. His goals. He still looks fit and fresh. He looks like he's in his 20s. He's having a great season, and he's been a great player for Brighton over the years. And to have someone of his quality, his experience, to kind of help the younger boys through, and also to lead the line like he has, and show the way to the younger players, he's been an amazing signing for Brighton.
What do you think about the fact that they're close to European football? It's very possible it could be 9 places, in European football for next season. I mean, are they close? Can they handle that?
I think they went into Europe last time, and I think when most clubs who haven't been in Europe go into Europe, they find it really difficult, and I think that have made them suffer in the Premier League a bit. So I think they'll have a bit more knowledge, a bit more understanding. They might have to build a bigger squad if they want to go into Europe and compete consistently in Europe. But they've got the capability of doing it. So I think, obviously, say if there's 9 places next season, they're going to probably have to look to strengthen that squad if they want to be doing it consistently.
Champions League, though, I mean, that's, if they are there in those positions, it's absolutely incredible. I mean, for the fans as well.
Yeah, for the club, for where it's been and where it's got to. If Brighton were to get into the Champions League, it'd be phenomenal. I'd be absolutely over the moon for the club. And as I said, they'd have to strengthen their squad a lot to compete, and obviously to then stay in the Premier League, because it does have a huge effect on the Premier League performances.
Well, Craig, on the bigger picture with Brighton is that, they've invested in the women's team, they've invested in their Brighton itself, they've invested in Hearts through Tony Bloom. Where does this end, or is it just this empire getting bigger, do you think?
I think Tony is a fantastic chairman. He's probably one of the best I've ever come across. His vision for the club, when I joined, and where he's taking it has been phenomenal. I joined and I knew where the club was going, and it was fantastic to be a small part of it. And obviously, Tony's now investing so much into the club, and he's obviously gone up to Hearts, and it shows what experience he has, because Hearts are obviously on a fantastic run themselves, and hopefully we'll get across the line winning the Scottish Premier League. So anything he touches, he puts great effort into it, and obviously it becomes very successful.
Yeah, I mean, and Hertzler as well, you wonder if he can really build something long term. Do you think he's that guy? I mean, you look at his age came into it at the beginning, didn't he? The youngest ever manager in the Premier League, and he's obviously done a good job. It looks like they're going to end strongly, but what do you see as his future?
I still think he's obviously got good time at Brighton. The chairman, he's a very I think he's a lenient man. I think he gives you time to build. I think he likes to have more stability at a club with managers. So I think that he has got time. And then it's all down to him and how he selects his players and how he sets them up. But he's done fantastically well. As he said, he was such a young manager when he came in, and he's kind of shown great resilience when the times were tough and he was under pressure, and they've come good again. So he can keep pushing and go beyond Brighton in the future. But I think he's got something there he could build long term.
Craig, finally, before we let you go, what are you up to these days, Craig?
So I train strikers myself. I'm starting to build a business around training strikers. The position I knew and just kind of giving all the information I have back. It's obviously the position's changed a lot since I played. So I'm really enjoying that. I have a men's mental health podcast that I do with my friend Jim Burnside, just talking about kind of the mental health in sport and how we as players and men we suffer and kind of ways and means to alleviate that and help.
Good for you.
Great stuff. Yeah,
very good to hear. And Scotland, obviously, World Cup. Craig, you got 7 caps for Scotland. We confident?
I'm excited. I'm really excited. The team has been performing fantastically well, and obviously to get to another major tournament is amazing. Hopefully they just go out there with freedom and enjoy it, and hopefully we can see them get out of the group stages and pushing on.
Yeah, lovely. Well, it's good to speak to you today. Good luck with everything to come up, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Cheers, Craig. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, man who won 7 caps for Scotland from Brighton, Craig McHale-Smith there. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter, working with you. Coming up next, we'll get the latest odds, and later on we're going to be joined by a former Chelsea defender.
Real Madrid striker Kylian Mbappe, who has faced criticism from his own fans after taking a trip to Italy on a mega yacht with his partner. He's recovering from a hamstring injury he suffered on April the 24th and was given some days off last week. He arrived back in Madrid on Sunday, shortly before kick-off, when Madrid played away against Espanyol. Many fans thought Mbappe should not have taken a break and should have stuck with the team, going through a difficult time at this particular time. Alvaro Arbeloa said, well, in their free time, each player does what they see fit, and I don't get involved with that. Mbappe's representative said part of the criticism was based on an over-interpretation of elements related to a recovery period, strictly supervised by the club, without reflecting the reality of Kylian's commitment and the work that he puts in every day for the team. So that was Mbappe and Real Madrid. But then there's Liverpool. What was going on with them? Danny's old club. Liverpool captain Virgil van Dijk had to defend some of his teammates who were criticised for being abroad last week on a day off as they headed into the Manchester United game, a game they ultimately lost by 3-2. It was put to Van Dijk that some of his teammates had gone on holiday last week. He says, I'm not sure it was a holiday, it was a city trip. But I think if you're one day off and you don't have many days off, then you decide what you want to do with your family. We're not kids. Everyone's an adult. I wish we had a couple more days off at times because I think it works both ways.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it! Oh! Oh!
Yeah! We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology. How would you get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Weekend Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT. My name is Shebahn Aherne. Former Millwall striker Tony Cascarino is here. We're live on the smart TV. We're on the YouTube channel. Cass has got his sambas out for a little bit of Macanada. It's in the papers today that Manchester United's Diogo Dalot is reportedly annoying teammates by playing Brazilian music, Brazilian funk.
Right.
Apparently he's the #1 fan and it's doing the rest of his teammates' head in. You can't help but enjoy a bit of that though.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, if I go back to my playing days with Ireland, it was always we had U2 on in the dressing room. But
who was the DJ back in your
It wasn't really a DJ. It would just be brought in. It'd be a
wee boombox.
Yeah.
No, wait,
boombox.
did you have the big tape ones that sat on the shoulder?
We
yeah.
did have some big ones. Yeah, Quinny was, but then he wasn't the biggest U2 fan, even though it was played, quite often. But in all different clubs, some people like it. Some people just have their headphones on and just listen to it. Do whatever you need to do, as long as you don't bother anybody else.
A little bit of must.
But Darlow might be upsetting other players who are like, "Can we get this off?"
Yeah, I know. Turn off it, please.
Yeah, some places don't have anything.
Yeah.
Some teams.
There you go. Diogo Dalot reportedly playing that in the dressing room at Manchester United. Looking ahead to 3 o'clock this afternoon, Sunderland, Man United. All the updates coming on Game Day Live with Adrian Durham from 2:30. And what a day we've got lined up for you. It all gets underway 12:30. Liverpool, Chelsea over on talkSPORT. And then talkSPORT 2 for the first leg of the playoff, Middlesbrough versus Southampton, and lots more across the day. For it all, let's get the latest odds with Coral.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18 plus, gambleaware.org.
Very, very, very pleased to say John Hill from Coral is with us today. Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Good morning, Shebahn. Good morning, Cass. How are we both doing?
Yeah,
we're good. We're good.
Good.
I suppose what we're going to look. We could look at reflection at last night. We got the Championship game today. We've also got Premier League with Liverpool taking on Chelsea in the early match.
We have indeed, lots to look forward to. And I guess that early game, we'll start there first and foremost in the Premier League. Two sides, it's fair to say, disappointed with the way the season's gone, Cass. Liverpool and Chelsea, they'll be looking to finish on a high, won't they? Liverpool, odds on here, 10-11 to prevail at Anfield. These two sides have had some cracking games, haven't they, over the years? Some great Champions League ties over the years as well. But today, as I say, looking to just finish on a high. Chelsea, 13-5, pick up the victory. The draw, 29-10. In terms of Arne's slot, Cass, you see him still being there next season and a chance to rebuild again?
Yeah, I do think he will be the manager going into next season. And I'm always a fan of managers getting the golden opportunity. When you win, you're praising and they're the greatest manager ever. And when you lose, you want some sort of loyalty. I feel so. There'll be a lot of Liverpool fans that disagree. But I do feel like if you see the season out and you go into next year and see where you are, it's been a tough year though for Liverpool.
Yeah, that's very fair. And in terms of Manchester United, Shebahn, they're away obviously to Sunderland today, 19-20. Big question really, and with regards to United, Michael Carrick, does he deserve to get the job next season full time?
I mean, this conversation keeps going on and on. I was speaking to somebody yesterday who works at the club, and I was thinking about Sir Jim Ratcliffe and how we know that he likes to save the cash where he can. We were discussing Mikel Arteta earlier on the week and him being in contract negotiations before he's won it, because maybe the goal was for him to get them to a final or be in another title race, which they're doing. But with Michael Carrick, the job is get Champions League football and finish the season, and then maybe we'll discuss it. So maybe those conversations aren't being had. No,
the biggest danger for Manchester United, also for Michael Carrick more than Manchester United, is if they promise someone the job.
Yeah.
Because that could have easily been the...
Exactly. But he has done it. He's done the best that he could do, and he's done very well, and he's done enough.
He has, yeah.
So therefore, yes, I think he does deserve the job. And I want them to end strong as well. I really, really do. Sunderland, Man United today. Are we favourites for this one?
You are, 19-20. So your odds on Sunderland 13-5, the draw 3-1. So expected to go there to get a victory. And Sunderland have had a good season, haven't they? We must mention them, the Black Cats. They've had a great campaign.
Brilliant campaign.
So hats off to them as well. Yeah.
My other love, John. Can we just go up the road to Scotland quickly, because it's Motherwell Hearts today, which could affect a lot tomorrow in terms of Celtic Rangers. What are they saying today? Because Motherwell have been brilliant this season.
They have, and there's very little between the two sides of the betting. Just looking here, Motherwell 7-4, Hearts 13-8, the draw 12-5. So we can hardly separate these two sides. This is going to be a really tough test for Hearts tonight. 8 o'clock kickoff, this one, isn't it? So a huge game and implications, as you say, in terms of that title.
We must mention the playoff game, Southampton versus Middlesbrough, first leg. So how are we pricing that one?
Yeah, great game, isn't it? Yeah, in terms of to qualify for Wembley, let's just look at that first. Southampton are favourites here, 4-6 favourites. Middlesbrough 11-10. But today, obviously, we've been at Middlesbrough, they're favourites to prevail. Yeah, in this leg at 6-5. So you feel Middlesbrough would want to have an advantage to take with them down to Southampton for the second leg. So 4-6 Southampton, 11-10 Middlesbrough. In terms of just going up from the playoffs promotion, Southampton favourites at 7-4, Millwall second at 11-5, 9-4 Middlesbrough, and 7-1 Hull after last night's game. So they say it's the biggest game in football, isn't it? The Championship player final, the most lucrative. I think it's worth 150 million. So Southampton currently 7-4 favourites for this.
Racing?
Yep.
John?
Yes, finish on the racing. We've got the Victoria Cup at Ascot today. That's the feature race at 2:20. And Mudbeer is the 5-1 favourite for that one. And Lingfield today, a couple of Oaks and Derby trials. So keep an eye out for those at 1:28 and 1:58. But the feature meeting is at Ascot.
Lovely stuff. John Hill, have yourself a wonderful day. We'll see you again next week.
Cheers,
you
John.
too, guys. Thank you.
John Hill there from Coral. That was a look at the latest odds. 18+ BeGambleAware.org, and please gamble responsibly.
The Coral Daily Download on talkSPORT with Coral. We're here for the fans this season. 18+ gambleaware.org.
Ken Sports Breakfast on talkSPORT coming up next. We'll talk Manchester City ahead of their game at Brentford with a big City fan and presenter with us next.
I'm going to go Friday after work pint, number 5, mate.
Number 5.
There he is. So do you want it? You ready?
Yeah, go on.
In number 5.
Number 5.
Friday after work pint. You've worked hard all week. You know, you want to go there, just have that first pint. You've earned it.
Number 4.
Beer garden pint. This can happen any time of day.
Good pint.
Any time, any day of the week. Yeah. Saturday afternoon, meet the lads. Sunday afternoon.
Good pint.
Right, sun's got to be
Number 3.
Football pint. The football pint's in. You meet your lads, meeting up Saturday afternoon or Sunday, whatever it is. First pint, in you go. Hey, we're going to get a beer again.
Yeah.
Number 2.
The holiday pint. Mr. O'Hara wants that one. Yeah. When you get there, you've done the journey. You've gone through everything you need to do. Passport, security checks, the journey. You get out, you smell, you feel a bit grubby. Don't care. You get on wherever you get to then you get to your destination. Bags get dropped. Sit there. You've earned this pint.
Yeah, it's a good pint.
Good pint.
That's my favourite.
There you go.
Number 1.
Yeah.
Airport. It's the only one, mate. Airport pint. It's the only one. You're there. It doesn't matter what time. Not with lads. No. Doesn't matter who you're with. If you're with me, 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 3, whatever it is, that's the point.
Do you know what's disappointing in this whole, ranking that we've done?
Have I missed something?
Yeah, well, your missus. There's not one pint that involves your missus. Not one. Where's Hannah in this?
I'm at the airport with her.
No, you're not. You're not at the airport with her. You're with Razor Ruddock.
No, hold on.
Hold on.
Hannah's
involved in none of these pints.
No, hold on. I'm at the airport with her, definitely. I'm definitely with a holiday pint. I'm definitely with her at football. I'm definitely not.
This might be the best one then.
Yeah, I know. I wouldn't say it's the best. Just the Way You Are is a classic. That's a great old love.
I haven't really heard of that one.
Oh, you'll know it as soon as you. Well, get Sam to play it on the way out.
DJ Jazzy, you know what you have to get.
Just the Way You Are.
Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. Always a woman to meet as well if you're taking requests.
I think Barry White sang it as well.
Did he really?
Barry White sang it.
Oh, this is a belter, to be fair. We didn't start the fire. Billy Joel, or Joel, whatever you want to say. He's 77 today. Happy birthday. You're listening to the Weekend Sports Breakfast here on talkSPORT. My name's Shebahn Aherne, former Villa. And Celtic striker Tony Cascarino is here. If you fancy more tunes, swipe across to Virgin Radio on the talkSPORT app. But here's what's coming up for you here on talkSPORT today. It's Max and Charlie at 9 o'clock this morning on the warm-up. Then it's GameDay live from 11. Liverpool-Chelsea is at 12:30. We've got exclusive commentary of that game on the radio. And then Adrian Durham follows, bringing you all of the goals as they go in from the Prem and beyond and up the road. GameDay live, 2:30, including Sunderland versus Man United, all in there as well. Middlesbrough-Southampton is the playoffs over on talkSPORT 2. 12 o'clock build-up, 12:30 kick-off. And then the GameDay phone-in is here with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy at 5:30, taking all of your calls as they come in, and then all of the updates as well. Man City against Brentford. We've got live boxing at 8 o'clock tonight. Fabio Wardley versus Daniel Dubois from Manchester. Adam Catterall and all the team up there on the YouTube channel as well. talkSPORT Boxing or talkSPORT YouTube channel. So there's a lot going on. Download the talkSPORT app and you will not miss a thing. Now, let's talk about the title race, shall we? Since losing to City last month, Arsenal have been perfect. Well, City just blinked, dropping 2 huge points in a chaotic 3-3 draw at Everton. The Gunners' charge has been led by Victor Gyökeres, who didn't start in the 2-1 defeat at the Etihad, but he's been unstoppable, to be fair to him, since. After a brace against Fulham last time out, he's now up to 21 goals for the season. Cass, what was it changed? I mean, you're a striker. What is it you think of him? What's changed? What's clicked over the last few games?
Well, Havertz has got injured and he's come in and he's stepped in his place and he's done brilliantly well. He's led the line fantastically. I talked the other week about Alan Smith as a striker and the type of striker he was, and he was a great one at leading the line. And I think Gyökeres has done that for Arsenal. He's become more influential. I think he's got a bit more confidence in his ability. With that, he's got goals and he's helping the team. Mm-hmm. They need him now. They really need him to be what he's been doing, holding the ball up, bringing players into play. His numbers are good. I said it before. His numbers are not... Look, when you compare people like Henry and Van Persie and others, you know, that's a super high level of a striker. Now, do I see him as the long-term solution for Arsenal? I think he's got his part to play. And I think he's been absolutely, as the club has been changing over the last 5-6 years and the progression, which we've all seen, he's part of that. Will there be an end game where you go, well, Arteta's finally got the striker he truly believes is going to get 25, 30 goals? Or are we going to go, look, Arsenal were a team and a team ethic, so you stay with Gyökeres?
Yeah.
Because it works for them really well.
Like you say, 25 or 30 goals. He's on 21 in all competitions.
Well, does the number matter if you win the title?
I think it does. I mean, I think there's a minimum of how much you have to contribute.
I suppose for an egotistical type of striker who wants to live on numbers, you know, that's one thing that Mbappe was always criticised for. He was just so obsessed with his numbers. And you could put Ronaldo in there as well. Numbers and everything. But if your team are being successful and you're still getting decent numbers, surely that's the ultimate goal. You're winning things.
Yeah. You had a theory about losing to Manchester.
Well, no, I said it's amazing that Man City, you know, when Arsenal went to City and lost, they became a better team. It's felt from that moment onwards. And that sort of happened to Leeds. You know, Leeds went to the Etihad, were losing comfortably. After time, they turned the game around, didn't win, but still lost 3-2. But it turned Leeds' fortune around. And I think we saw that on Monday night with Everton, when they were losing at half-time with really... Look, City was so comfortable. They were literally running the show, Man City. Bernardo Silva in midfield, getting on the ball and just dictating the tempo of the match. And then suddenly, half-time comes, second half. Everton were a completely different team in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There has to be something in that, the change of idea as taking on City.
Yeah, maybe you're right. I don't know. I still think it's a funny one.
I've just given 3 examples in recent months of Arsenal becoming a better team after losing there, and Leeds lost there and become a better team afterwards instantly with a different dynamic, a different direction in the way they were going to play. And Everton, we're in a short-term period where at half-time, they were whatever David Moyes did in the dressing room at half-time, he completely changed the way Everton played.
Yeah.
And it was a dynamic that was more aggressive and more trying to get goals.
So Man City, I mean, they're going to want a win today if they're to stay in it. They welcome Brentford to the Etihad with no more room for error after that dramatic 3-3 draw at Everton last weekend. They're sitting 5 points behind the Gunners now. With a game in hand, City need to finish not perfect to stay in the hunt. Pep Guardiola said his side have to focus on winning the remaining games. Of course, pleased to say, to look ahead to this one, Manchester City fan and broadcaster, friend of talkSPORT, Natalie Pike is with us. Good morning, Natalie. Good to see you.
Hi, Natalie.
Good morning, guys. Hi.
Hiya. How you doing? How you keeping?
I'm all right. I only woke up about 10 minutes ago, Shebahn. I don't know how you guys do it on a Saturday.
Jealous. I'm gel, Natalie. I'm gel. You've got a great game coming up today, 5:30. And it's a must-win for Man City to stay in the hunt.
Oh, it really is. Yeah, it really is. But you know what, Shebahn? I'm absolutely fine with whatever happens. And I've kind of been saying this all week. There's been no point in this season, even when we beat Arsenal, that I really thought we're going to win the league. Like, it's never felt like our year. So, and honestly, I'm not just saying that. That's not just an excuse. Like, when we closed down the gap on Arsenal, I was so ecstatic. And I know that all City fans were, because we just didn't expect it. Yeah. So I'd like to take it to the last day of the season. I want to go out today, have a big performance at home. There's only 3 home games left for us this season. I'd love to have a big performance today and let's just take it, let's push them all the way to the end.
Yeah. Tell us, Natalie, what did you make of Monday night when Kuznov and Gay, who are both very, very top defenders, had a really poor night, and the way that the second half panned out for City?
I don't think they had a bad night. I think that's unfair. I think they had bad moments. I think the two of them have been incredible this season. Like, Gahey slotted straight into the team and has been, close to perfection ever since. Kuznov has just built up to become an absolute fan favourite. He's a world-class defender in the making. So I think we accept that everybody makes mistakes. But I was surprised, don't get me wrong, I was surprised given the levels that they've been playing at this season. I was surprised. Monday night was I expected Everton to give us a game, of course I did, but I think just the way that we came out in the second half and we just looked like a totally different team. But having said that, the psychology of it, we kept fighting, we scored in the last minute, we went all the way to the end. So like I say, we've just got to keep taking this as long as we can. Let's keep pushing Arsenal, keep forcing them to try and make a mistake.
So do you think that's realistic, Natalie? I mean, even depending on the result today against Brentford, who are a great side, do you think it is Arsenal's?
Yeah, it is. Definitely, Shebahn. It's been Arsenal since, September, October. I suppose the only hope that we have is that, we went to West Ham not long ago and they played brilliant and they, they got a point. Sure. My kind of, City and West Ham fans have always had this kind of weird connection. Like, we were the West Ham of Manchester and they're the City of London. Like, we've always had this kind of weird connection. So we'll be like channeling all our energy to West Ham and just hoping they can put in a performance and, let's just push Arsenal. Let's not just give it to them now.
Yeah, and look at West Ham's numbers. They haven't lost any of their last 9 home games.
Is that true? Oh, that makes me feel better. Thank you.
Well, no, it's true. They haven't lost any of the last 9 home games.
No, I mean, surely not. I mean, that's the thing. You never. No, I don't mean the stat. I mean, just like tomorrow. I'm like,
no,
after everything that's happened this week for Arsenal.
Do we all think Arsenal are going to win? Yes.
Yeah.
But thinking one thing and what actually pans out, West Ham are fighting for their life. This is not a gimme.
No, I know.
This is not.
But I'm also going, surely not.
Yeah, same.
Surely not. It's brilliant. I mean, I have to say the title race has been exceptional this season, and then that race for European football tonight, which of course Brentford are in the hunt for that as well. So it's going to be a tough game for Manchester City. Well, we've got you, Natalie. The women have won the title. They won the WSL. I mean, Bunny Shaw, she's leaving.
Oh, no.
What have they done letting her go? What have they done, Natalie?
I'm hoping that something's going to change. I'm hoping that somebody's going to change their mind, that City are going to pull out something out of the bag, and it's not over, till it's over. To me, there isn't a Manchester City of modern times, without Bunny Shaw.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely brilliant for them. I saw the interview with Pep Guardiola. I always enjoy seeing a men's coach manager giving the women their due, and I thought his press conference on the women was very, very classy.
Yeah, he's a classy man, Shebahn. He's a classy man.
Yeah. Well, good luck today, Natalie. Fingers crossed for you. Go get yourself all set for a big day ahead.
I need to get a cup of tea and wake up, Shebahn. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Natalie.
We'll speak to you soon. Natalie Pike there, Man City fan and broadcaster as well. You don't have Instagram, but every time City score, Natalie's on the celebration, so we're flying up and down the side. Huge game tonight. Like, talking about the stats, you're right. Obviously, you're right about what you're saying about West Ham, and they are in this mad fight, but I can't decide if Arsenal will just absolutely wipe the floor with them, or if West Ham will do the other way around. I just can't call this one tomorrow.
Yeah, look, there's something unique about a team fighting for their life. They're not going to give an inch on this pitch, and whether they're good enough to get a result, under normal circumstances, you'd go, Arsenal will win there. If they're in the running, 3 games to go, they win that game, they're nearly home and dry.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's something about this game that I would be very cautious of. And I think Arteta will be exactly the same about letting his team know, and they don't need to be told. They know that this is not going to be a walk in the park. You're going to have to earn everything you get tomorrow.
I mean, that's it. We'll build up to it in more detail again tomorrow, but it does really make you think. You're listening to the Weekend Breakfast here on talkSPORT in partnership with Volkswagen Transporter. Search VW Transporter to find out more. All the updates from Man City, Brentford, all part of the Game Day phone in with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy tonight here on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll look ahead to the 12:30 kickoff here on talkSPORT today as Liverpool host Chelsea.
Jason Cundy was alongside Shebahn Aherne on the Sports Bar after the game. He said he can see Arsenal shutting PSG down in the final.
Arteta will not allow a basketball match. He won't. He won't.
Was it going to be a tactically defence then?
No, it won't be tactically defence, but I think that Arsenal, they're measured. Arsenal control games. They don't. Now, Arsenal are brilliant at doing that. They can be at times dull to watch because of that, but in a one-off game, who cares? I think Luis Enrique would probably want it being more open affair. I don't think Arteta will allow it.
Not the game we were expecting last night. You pointed out there, I said over 4.5 goals. I did think they're a bit well done to PSG and Luis Enrique for shutting out the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that proved there's another side to them, right?
Yeah, they can dig in when they need to. It helps they've got wonderful footballers, and I guess when you get a goal so early after 3 minutes with that attacking front line, it doesn't make the job easier, but when you've got the pace of Kvaratskhelia and Dembele, Doué can run, you've got Vitinha in the middle of the park, it does help the fact that you could just sit in there and defend, because the counter-attack, no one's catching you. You're being behind them. So, yeah, it's gonna be fascinating now to see what happens in the final. PSG was probably the team I didn't want. I'd prefer Bayern. But now it's PSG. You've got to go out there and put a performance in. It's going to be difficult. And I've said it before. I think Arsenal, to win this fixture, potentially may have to be perfect in terms of they may have to put in the best performance they've ever put in under Mikel Arteta in any competition.
Is that the only way you can see Arsenal winning, by playing the best they've ever played?
I think they have to be defensively. They have to be rock solid. No,
well, they are pretty much like that anyway.
Yeah, but there's still times you give it. Like if you give that sort of opportunity to.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals. We've been taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you
get to that conclusion? That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. She can lead you to love, she can take you or leave you. She can ask for the truth, but she'll never believe. And she'll take what you give her as long as it's free. Yeah, she steals like a thief, but she's always
Oh,
a
that's
woman to me.
perfect. That's a nice Saturday morning listen.
Yeah. Great voice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Billy Joel's birthday, by the way, today, so we've just gone full.
What did we say? What,
Billy
77?
Joel. 77, yeah. Do you remember when this was remade? Must have been about 15 years ago by a guy called Five Dangerfield.
No, I haven't heard it. It's good?
It's brilliant. His voice is stunning, but this is... I think I must have been about one when this song was out, because there's old video footage from my mum and dad's house of us all crawling around, and this is in the background. Lovely song. Happy birthday, Billy Joel. Keep going, you've got a career in you, sir.
And she'll carelessly cut you and laugh while you're bleeding. But you'll bring out the best and the worst you can.
You can listen to the whole song.
Blame it all on yourself, because she's always...
All right, moving on from that, some of your headlines this morning. The English Football League has charged Southampton with allegedly spying on Middlesbrough before they meet in the Championship playoff semi-finals today. That's going to add some spice. That's over on talkSPORT too. Tommy Fleetwood shot a 4-under round of 67 to put himself within a stroke of the lead after the second round of the Trust Championship. And the race for the European places continues. Liverpool host Chelsea in the early kick-off lunchtime today at 12:30 here on talkSPORT. Head coach Arne Slot has said his side need to give a good old performance.
I think we've shown this season that we need a good performance to get results, because the opposite has been true a lot of times, that we had a good performance but the result was not there, but we did not had many times a poor performance and still had the result. It's not the type of team we are. We are not that well in set pieces or holding on, defending with all we got. So we need to have a good performance usually to win a game of football.
Arne Slot there. Of course, Chelsea, they've lost their last 6 in the league, looking to not make it 7. The interim boss, Callum McFarland, said earlier on this week that the players haven't down tools. We can look ahead to this one now with one of your former teammates, former England and Chelsea defender of Cass, of course, at Chelsea. Graham Lasso is with us this morning. Good morning, Graham. How are you?
Hi,
I'm very well, thank you. Morning, both of you. I mean, it's nice to hear Billy Joel in the early in the morning, and not so much your singing, but
it's okay. I'll send you a voice note later, the full version.
Thank you. I look forward to that. Sorry for being rude.
No, you're fine.
Graham,
used to it.
Well, it's better than my singing, Graham. That's for sure.
I reckon, that's a low bar, Tony.
Graham, tell us what you think, because obviously Chelsea's form has been really poor, and there's been question marks over the team and performances. And I hate, as an ex-pro, that to associate on the beach this type of lingo. That I don't like that. But it's very hard to defend this Chelsea team at the moment.
Well, they're finding it hard to defend as well, aren't they, themselves? In terms of the results are poor. The things I always look for, Tony, and you're right, that professional football players don't intentionally sort of stop performing or stop sort of trying to do the best they can every day in training and matches. the big feature, I think, with the Chelsea team and a team that is in this sort of run is the disconnection between everything. And so it's very much how players, when things aren't going well, players withdraw into their own performance more than they give to the whole team. And at this level of the game, those weaknesses between the players, and that could come from a multitude of things, those weaknesses are exposed. And the opposition sense that. So we know as players, when we played, that if a team has weaknesses and they're in a negative mindset, for want of a better word, you exploit that. So it's a seesaw effect.
Yeah.
One team's playing below par. They're distracted, and I think there's lots of reasons for that with Chelsea, both on and off the pitch. Managerial changes, lack of identity, players thinking more selfishly, because when you go out onto the pitch, you're vulnerable in a way. You're under a lot of pressure. You're exposed, so you tend to look after yourself a bit more when things aren't going well. And you even see it in terms of what you hear around the training ground, disagreements. So there's all of the signs just lead to this terrible run of form for them, and quite frankly, unacceptable performances.
Yeah, I would add into that, Graham, as well, what you're touching, that disconnect, that, I look at Cole Palmer. I think he's hanging on to the ball too long, and you might be doing that because he doesn't want to give it away or lose it at that particular moment. Then there's Caicedo, who's not winning the ball as quick as he used to, and he's quite capable of doing that. So there's two disconnects even in the midfield there. That's without all the other issues.
Yeah, and again, as soon as you create hesitation or uncertainty in a team, any team at that level, again, that it relies on everything happening so quickly. Players receiving the ball, moving it on, anticipating when you're the defensive side of the ball. Everything has to happen seamlessly. And that's when you see the best players play at their highest levels. And you've just seen with Chelsea, and to a certain extent, Liverpool, I think that Arne Slot's interview is really interesting. He said there that they have to play well all the time because they're a free-flowing team. They're a sort of, the component parts of that team require everyone to be on the same wavelength. And as soon as you lose a little bit of that, and it only has to be 5%, it changes the outcome of performances. And we know football is, there's so many anomalies in football. You can be the wrong side of decisions. You can play well in certain areas of the game, still lose the match. And both teams are finding it hard, obviously Chelsea finding it harder than Liverpool, to find that formula that gives them the opportunity to then go and play at their highest level as a team and as individuals.
Well, it sounds like the uncertainty derby.
but this is the thing, we've mentioned it with Chelsea the last couple of seasons, this young squad that they've got, and here they are then, now it's kind of come back to bite them on the backside because they don't have like a real leader of men in that dressing room anymore. They are younger, they are inexperienced. Who's the guy in that dressing room who's picking them up by the scruff and going, come on, let's get stuck in?
Yeah, but and also I'm a bit. It's by choice, So they've bought all those young players at huge cost, huge contracts, by choice, and so I don't wear that. I really don't, in the sense that you pick the squad, you spend that much money, you buy a squad that you feel is right to serve the purpose of what you're trying to achieve in the league, and of course you've got to have a sort of a medium and a longer term strategy to look at how you invest in players over time, how you value players. So you have to have all these models working together. But what Chelsea have done in terms of their recruitment, their ownership direction and requirement, they've put together a load of players that lack so many of the things that are important. And experience is one of them, because younger players need cover, they need protection, and need to look at the more experienced players to sort of say, well, he's done it, I can follow that, and then learn, I think, the standards that are expected and the identity of that particular team.
Well, listen, pleasure to speak to you this morning, Graham. Hope it goes well for you guys this evening. Thanks for coming on. Have a good day.
Cheers,
it's a pleasure.
All the
Keep
best,
singing.
mate.
Keep singing.
Well do. Former Chelsea and England defender Graham Lasso with us this morning. Don't forget, Liverpool-Chelsea live for you here on talkSPORT today at 12:30. It's Reshman Chowdhury, Sam Matterface and former England defender Stuart Pearce on that game for you. That's all from us. Cass and I are back tomorrow. You've got a huge day ahead. You've got all the playoffs coming up as well on talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2.
Don't tell me you've never heard this.
We never could have come this far.
No, the other ones are more famous, Cass.
This is one of his biggest songs. Love You Just the Way You Are. Take the bad times.
Oh, okay. It rings a bell now.
Take you just the way
Yeah, okay, yeah. Still think the other ones are bigger though. No offence, Billy. Yeah, all the playoffs, all of the action with us here on the talkSPORT network today, and then fight night tonight as well. Wardley versus Dubois. We'll look back to all of that tomorrow on Weekend Breakfast from 6. On the way next, the warm up with Max and Charlie. Have a great Saturday. Bye bye.
You always have mine.
Let me apologise immediately if there's any smugness or glee from my co-host today.